12 Celsius.
Hi, honey, how are you?
The teenagers who run Google, Sergey Brin and Larry, what's his name, this week bought a website called YouTube, which was set up last weekend by two primary school students aged 5 and primarily shows a film of teenagers falling off skateboards. They paid £186 trillion. North Korean dictator Mentor Lee-il, the world's second maddest head of state, set off a nuclear explosion that gave the Sun its best front page for years with the borrowed joke, how do you solve a problem like Korea? I thought the inside page was actually even funnier than that. And it said, bad Korea move. You see that? That's brilliant. Oh, they must have been slapping themselves on the back over that. But how do you solve a problem like Korea? You could send in the UN's weapons inspector. And Il would say, hey, where's that going? Just keep it right up. Right to the very end. Oh, I'll just move on then. Totally screwed that one up. Might as well not have written it. And it's been revealed that the wholesale price of gas has gone down by 2/3. Your gas bill is still approximately the same, right? The gas has gone down by 2/3 since the start of the year, the wholesale price, the price at which the gas companies buy it. You aware of that?
I think my gas has gone up.
I can't hear you, dear.
My gas has gone up.
Exactly.
Yes.
I don't have gas.
The wholesale price... What?
I don't have gas.
You don't have gas?
No.
You must have some sort of gas product coming in. How do you heat your house?
Electricity, I've got economy 7, it's awful. I'd rather have gas.
Well, there you are, you see.
Yeah.
Shall I start again? I don't think I'll bother. So we've got the B team in tonight. Let's have them introduce themselves and tell us what they had for breakfast.
Breakfast, it was so long ago.
Yeah, you had to introduce yourself first.
Oh,
were you listening to this show?
My name's Clive. I'm here instead of Alex.
Yes. Who would have thought I'd miss him? No offence.
And I'm Andrea in for Lucy.
I can't hear you, dear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better.
Oh, don't you wish Lucy was back?
No.
Good. I'm Andrea and I'm in for Lucy and I had a banana sandwich.
For breakfast?
Yeah.
For breakfast?
For breakfast.
You had a banana sandwich?
I always have banana sandwich for breakfast.
That's not a breakfast thing, though. That's a lunch item.
That's my compromise, because I hate breakfast.
What do you have for lunch?
Nothing. Should have had a banana sandwich, shouldn't I?
Yeah, that's right. That's strange. So you have banana sandwich for breakfast with what? What side dishes did you enjoy with that?
I just had a hot black currant. Now, you shouldn't really go there, should you? Because I don't drink tea or coffee.
Right.
Shall I call Lucy now?
No, that's all right. I'm imagining a kind of, there's probably tie-dye fabrics on the wall.
No.
Right.
No. What did you have for breakfast?
None of your business.
I knew you'd say that.
Porridge.
Okay.
Because I had a near-death experience a little while ago. You may have heard about that. Don't listen to this programme.
Fill me in. Of course I do.
So I thought porridge, that's the way to go, because I had they did my fat content, and it was, apparently I have the same fat content as a cheesy what's-it. And so I thought I'll have to reduce that, and so porridge, that's definitely the way to go. That's what I thought. And, lo and behold, I am the svelte figure that you see before you.
Low-fat milk?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all of that no-fun stuff. Red top milk, it's like white water. Somebody said to me the other day that it's amazing. You come down in the morning and you're amazed that all the white hasn't fallen to the bottom of the milk. But and it worked. The not fat content. What do they call that? Your cholesterol level. Cholesterol. That's right. Yeah. Now I have the cholesterol level of a long-distance Ethiopian runner.
I think you're thinner than the last time I was here.
That's not possible.
No. You are.
So the first one says in the country. What does that mean?
As opposed to in the town.
Right. This is going to go strangely, isn't it? So, it's a bloke called Jethro. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
A bloke called Jethro? That's not very nice, is it?
All right. A man called Jethro. How's that?
Yeah, okay.
Everyone's got the hump this evening. What's going on here?
No, I thought I was in limbo. I thought the Catholic Church had banned limbo, or decided it wasn't existed, because I phoned up and I said I want to talk to Nick, and then I was going to put on hold, and then I cut through to the live conversation, And I wasn't getting any kind of reception from anyone who was actually talking.
Oh, no, really? You were...
So I thought it was momentarily in
no one was paying attention.
Yeah, I thought it was momentarily in sort of state of non-communication.
No, you're not in limbo, mate. You went straight to heaven. Here you are.
Okay, that's fine. Now, I want to talk about the wonderful, beneficial position of living in the workers' paradise of North Korea, you know, which is a communist state, obviously moving towards the paradisical situation where all the workers look after each other fantastically, and you've got the dictatorship of the proletariat, which is quite orthodox Marxist thinking, and the guys...
It's like listening to a Monty Python sketch, this, isn't it? You're throwing as many long words as you possibly can in this sentence. Go ahead, you're doing very well.
No, this is right.
No idea what you're talking about, but it sounds good.
Yeah, you're an intelligent guy, I don't believe that whatsoever. You're at Brunel University, so you must have known, must have known a little bit. I'm sure there's a few socialist activists who are there convincing you that the reason we're all suffering is because we're living in the corrupt capitalist Western society, and
undoubtedly there were loads of them. Unfortunately, I never showed up.
If only we converted to socialist paradisical sort of efforts and movements.
Now you're falling over yourself. I
am a bit.
Just try to speak in words of one syllable.
Right. Okay. No, it's just that if your people are starving, and the only thing they've got to eat is grass soup, what's the best position for government to adopt is to develop a nuclear bomb, obviously.
Yes.
And
I like the picture of Korea, in the entirety of Korea at night. And South Korea is all lit up like a Christmas tree, and North Korea, well, there's someone home all right, but the lights aren't on. Like they don't have electricity there. They've got a bomb, but no electricity.
No, it's because they're all members of the North Korean army, and they're all living in bunkers, waiting because they're paranoidally waiting for George Bush to attack with his
the American imperialist aggressor, you mean?
Pardon? Well, they probably see it like that, don't they? I mean, because life is so much, as you know as a psychologist, so much a question of perception for the subjective, isn't it? So they're all probably thinking, they're convinced by I imagine the doctrine and the propaganda that's coming out from Phnom Penh, wherever it is. No, it's not Phnom Penh up there, I forget what it's called, the capital. And they're all probably waiting for the Americans to attack, because that would fall in line with the sort of one state, one party doctrine that they're all being subjected to, I would imagine. Not having been there, but
again, it's like lots of sounds. It's almost as though you're speaking a foreign language. I've got no idea. But I saw this bloke on the BBC who'd actually gone and spent some time there, and he'd spent time in Iran and Iraq and other places in the axis of evil. And he said that apparently, unlike Iran and Iraq, where he found out pretty quickly that most of the population despised their rulers and thought they were a bunch of total nut jobs, said in North Korea he didn't find one dissenting voice. Everyone was completely in love with the dear leader, and that he felt that they would fight to the last man in order to to protect him.
Oh, right. So is he it's a Hindu guru sitting there saying love one another, and it's not
or I'll kill you. Yeah.
And he hasn't got a secret police going around checking up on everyone, making sure that they have voted for him in the one-party election that's just gone past.
I almost certainly does, yeah, but he didn't find. Of course, they don't see many Westerners, so they may have all been holding their tongue. But then you could have said the same for Iran and Iraq. But he said that these people just seem to be starstruck.
Oh, right. It's not. There's a cult of the political leader, like it was in Stalinist Russia.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Right. Oh, fair enough.
But in Stalinist Russia, there seem to be refuseniks.
I thought that people like Alexander Solzhenitsyn, when he wrote home and said, "I don't think Uncle Joe's such a good leader," found himself arrested by the NKVD and then spending 5 months in a concentration camp in eastern Siberia.
And did they have to be called the NKVD?
Yeah, well, okay, KGB then. Well, you worried about the sort of association with STDs?
It's just like a blizzard of letters over your place.
You're my favourite. Can I be a bit of sycophantic backside licking now, and that is that you're my favourite LBC presenter.
Of course.
And I'll end on that note of a sickening sycophancy. Thank you very much and good night.
Okay. Oh, it's when he left. That was my favourite part.
The home of entertaining.
90973. You really are trying to throw me off today. Normally, when he says Nick Abbott, then it's my turn. And then you did the old switcheroo. I'm going to come in there and kill you in a minute. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean, I'm actually going to kill you. So, this is LBC 97.3, your official happiness station. And let's go with the call in which one? Korea? Korea? I don't want to talk about Korea all night. How about it's Robert in the Rhondda?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too.
So, just getting my chair prepared for the call. Remember those old-fashioned, you have a chair by the side of the phone, all in one kind of unit?
So, last week you called me and, it didn't seem as though you were going to actually get back alive, because you were outside. You made the mistake of going out in Swansea, which, seems like...
You are taking your life in
Yeah.
your hands, yeah.
Swansea. I mean, imagine, ladies and gentlemen of London, being presented with the options of going out at night, and all you've got to choose from is what's in Swansea.
He was there that night as well, I think.
No, he wasn't.
He's been about 3 or 4 times in various clubs, doing personal appearances.
And how would that go? This is the bloke who was on, the dopey Welsh kid from Big Brother, right?
That's right.
Glyn, yeah. And what would a personal appearance actually consist of?
Well, I refuse to spend £5 to go in, but I presume he goes in and says some of his famous lines, possibly like, oh no.
Like, oh no.
But we had Nikki from Big Brother, she's been there. And we got Timmy Mallet coming down next week.
Oh, God, it just gets worse and worse.
So that's a night out in Swansea for you.
Timmy Mallet, what's he doing now? Same old thing, I bet.
It's a student night.
Huge glasses and a rubber hammer. Yeah.
He plays Mallet's Mallet. Where he gets his mallet out on the stage.
Right.
Waves it about a bit.
And the less said, the better.
And knocks people over the head with it, actually.
But it didn't seem like... It seemed as though you were being attacked from all sides. People were following, chasing you across the street.
Well, while I was on the phone waiting for you, I was down some horrible dark lane, or alley, if you want to put it that way, and somebody came up to me and started being slightly aggressive. And I won't repeat what they said.
And then you were by church, and you kept being interrupted by people who continuously were queuing up to pee on the church.
There was about 20 people in various parts of this church aiming at different areas.
Right, now, was the church the only building? Were there no trees, no other buildings? Like, why a church?
I don't know. They're very religious around here, over there. I'm back home tonight. I couldn't risk another night out.
I love that. You hear that? Anne Widdecombe was on the news banging on about BA, who sent this woman home for wearing a cross. And Anne Widdecombe says she's going to tear up her executive club card or whatever it is that she, gets in the lounges with.
Yes.
And she refuses to fly with them ever again unless it's, convenient. Something along those lines.
Unless she desperately has to.
Yeah, well, she's very upset because they normally treat her as baggage.
How many seats do you think she takes up when she goes on a big...
Well, see, now that's a very unpleasant, unfortunate thing for you to say.
One, of course.
One, yeah. One really big one, yeah.
Anyway, I did call for a reason tonight.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I've seen what I can only describe as the best film I've seen either all year or ever.
Now, okay, I know what you're going to say.
You probably do.
Yeah, the Borat film.
Wrong.
Oh, I'm amazed.
No, I don't. Is that even out yet? No. I'll watch that next week. No, I watched. Well, it's not a film. It's a stage production. The History Boys.
All right. Well, it is a film.
Yeah, but it's just stage production on film.
Is it?
You don't know? It's one like tons of.
Yeah, I know that there's a stage production, but did they actually just film a stage production, or is it a proper film?
No, it's a proper film.
Right.
But people who've seen the stage production say it's basically a cut and paste job. But I don't know. I think it's one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Huh. And it's got they're talking of gigantically fat. Here we are back at Anne Widdecombe again. It's got that guy from Withnail and I.
Richard Griffiths.
Richard Griffiths.
Now,
there is, you will agree, certain je ne sais quoi, so very special about a firm young carrot.
Makes me laugh every time.
Given an Oscar for his performance in this film, it's absolutely amazing.
Now, I think he's really funny, but the last time I saw him was in a Harry Potter film, and he'd become, because normally he's fat, but he'd become so gigantically huge that I found it a bit difficult to look at him.
Yeah, well, if you see this film, there's bits hanging from you didn't believe there could be bits hanging.
See,
and they have to have there's various parts of this film where he's supposed to be riding a motorbike. But if you wait for the credits, you see it's his stunt double who's riding a motorbike. because he's obviously not safe.
And I bet it was a stunt bike, too.
But, I recommend... Everyone should see this film. It's brilliant.
All right, well,
Alan Bennett wrote it. So
yeah, I know that.
I'm going to put people off. Put me off a little for a while, but...
It put you off. I mean, he's a bit...
Northern.
I don't know. Northern. All right, well, we'll go with that then. I was going to say something much ruder than that, but Northern. Yes, all right, then Northern. Yeah.
Yorkshire, Damethorpe Hood and Yorkshire.
Of course, Hull is in Yorkshire.
That's mentioned in the film.
And last week was named the stupidest place in Britain.
Good.
And the North East this week is named the fattest place in Britain, which, no offence to the people who live in Hull, means that people in Hull are fat and stupid.
And smell. Possibly.
Well, that'll come out as in a survey next week.
You know who the MP for Hull is?
Surmise me.
John Prescott.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Which is in no way funny.
No. He's quite slim. I wonder if he's going to give up his executive card.
He's svelte and smart.
Smells a lot of roses.
What?
Smells of roses.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So, no going out this week, eh?
Well, last week was unusual.
A disaster, yeah.
But it was a rough night generally. I lost my voice. I went back into the club, but they were playing Bryan Adams and Madonna and all these songs. But
yeah, you really want to go to the bright lights of Cardiff. I mean, anything's got to be better than that.
Well, today I worked out my career path. Finally, it's cost me £5,000 to do it, but I now know what I want to do.
You want to be a DJ?
No.
Right.
I want to be a political journalist.
That's about the most boring thing I could think of. Well done.
Hold on, it gets even more boring. A Welsh political journalist.
Oh, boring and pointless.
Yes.
That's excellent. Hey, your parliamentary building didn't win tonight. You must be very proud.
I've been in that. Anyone goes to Cardiff, it's really going. It's amazing, actually.
I didn't see the whole of the programme, but the Madrid airport won. How can an airport win a competition for best modern building? I mean, it's just a big box, right?
The new terminal in Madrid, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Edinburgh won last year, so they thought they couldn't give it to two parliaments. Although this is a British award, so I don't know why they're giving it somewhere in...
It was Richard Rogers, right?
Yeah.
It's either going to be Richard Rogers or the other bloke who looks just like him. What's the other bloke called?
No idea.
I've got no help through the glass either.
Don't know.
No.
Don't know.
Richard Rogers or
Oscar
the other guy?
Hammerstein.
Yeah, Oscar Hammerstein. Yeah, he does great work.
Well, the one in Cardiff cost, I think, 40 million, whereas Edinburgh cost like 400 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Edinburgh said they were going to cost 40 million, and then there's a slight overspend. Sorry about that, they said.
Silly.
Anyway, it's been sensational, Rob.
Thanks very much.
Whatever you call about.
I called about that film. Everyone go and see it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember now. Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ta. So how you doing in there?
Great. How are you doing?
Well, doing a show.
And you are. It's good. You're going to see the History Boys?
Yes. I probably won't pay, 20 quid to go and see it, whatever it costs in the West End, because there's no explosions, no car chases. They didn't spend any money on it.
Yeah.
If I'm going to spend huge amounts and go to see it in Leicester Square, then I want to get my money's worth, I'll wait till it comes out on TV or DVD.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Should I play some music?
What have you got?
What have I got? Oh, no, don't start. There's a piece in the paper, in the Telegraph driving section today, that said that they should get rid of all the traffic lights. In fact, all of the road signs and the calming measures and the traffic lights and, the raised bumps that make you slow down and all that sort of stuff, and it would actually help. Because what's causing people to go crazy is all of these measures that are designed to stop you doing what you actually want to do, which is, go forth smoothly. And so, there'll be traffic lights on a stretch of road where it's completely illogical. There won't be any need for them. And you sat there, and the light's red, and the light's red, and there's no other cars on the road, and you just sat there. And you think they're just doing it to me to, just totally irritate me, or to fine me when I refuse to comply. And they said, in more enlightened countries, places like Holland, they've actually started to take all of these things away. And just for a start, it looks nicer because you haven't got this blizzard of signs everywhere. And just to see what happens. Well, tests too. They're not crazy. They tested it out first, and they thought, yeah, you know what, this might work. And so they took the signs away, and people stopped dying on the roads.
I think that is so interesting. You know, when you're coming up...
Are you being sarcastic?
No. I'm being really honest, because isn't it better when the traffic lights are out and people make their own way across? Traffic moves faster and you're sensible.
I had my doubts, and then I was coming to work this evening. I don't know why I bothered. And,
we're glad you did.
Yeah. Otherwise you'd have been doing the show.
Oops.
And the lights are all out on Shepherd's Bush roundabout, which is a huge intersection. Not only is it massive and they've got a blizzard of traffic lights, but they've also got roadworks there which funnel like... whose phone is that?
Sorry.
What's he like?
I want to get like there needs to be a round-robin email going out to everyone who works in studios on the air.
I'm going to turn it off. I'm turning it off. I didn't even know it was on. I never get a call. That's the first call I've had in days.
Alex, his phone is always going off. It's way more embarrassing than that, though. He doesn't have a ringtone. He has clips of people on the Ian Lee show saying something ridiculous. Yeah, something of that order, yeah. I think it was gay in the army, something like that last time. I mean, imagine you're on your train and your phone goes off and somebody's saying gay in the army over and over again. I had a builder over at our place, and his phone was somebody wolf whistling, which is deeply embarrassing because if it's a noise like that, it's hard to tell where it's coming from. And it's also hard to tell that it's a recording.
People thought it was you or him.
Well, I thought...
Do you hear wolf whistling a lot?
Who, me?
Yeah, just as you walk around?
Not so much these days, no. But anyway, so I was coming through Shepherd's Bush roundabout, and all the lights are out. And as I was, further describing, all the lanes are being funneled from 3 into 1, so it's a bit of a chaotic nightmare there, and I thought, blimey, I'm going to die. But you know what? For the only time that I've ever gone around that roundabout, there were no queues. Because normally there's traffic lights and you stand there for at least 30 seconds. It's normally relatively quick, but you stand there, right? No one was standing at all. Everyone was moving smoothly. No deaths occurred while I was there.
At least for 10 minutes, anyway.
Yeah, for the brief period in which I crossed it. And it seemed to be working better than it did with them all. So maybe something to think about.
I agree. I think it's quite innovative.
It's always better when the lights are out, but they don't want you to know that.
No. And their reaction to this will be to, first of all, they'll say, as they always do, to anything that contradicts their policy, oh, no, it isn't. That's their first port of call. Oh, no, it isn't. They say, look, we have the following statistics, which prove it. And then second, they will start bringing in an even greater raft of things designed to restrict our freedom of movement, because that seems to be, not just this government, but every government in this country, they seem to be obsessed with pinning us down and for the purpose of finding us. And so they're going to have in-car... A thing that I've said for years now, and they've only... and when I said it on the air years ago, people go, oh, yeah, right. But it's just it's about to come about. I'll tell you what, within a short period of time, the tax disc that you stick on your windscreen will have some sort of chip in it that will be read from space. Any time you stray above the speed limit, money will be automatically deducted from your account.
Do you know, I don't think that's so far away.
By Red Ken.
It's horrible.
Mayor of London. Working for you.
Ode to Boobs by
Abbott. 0870 90 90 973.
I'm listening, dear. You can talk to me.
My favourite story today, it's taken more than 12 months and cost £10,000, but a council is finally on the verge of discovering the identity of a man who kept saying bar, as in bar, during a planning meeting. After a wide-ranging investigation, Havering Council, based in Romford in Essex, has prepared a... Guess how many pages in this report on a man saying bar in a council meeting? That's right, 300. Unfortunately, the downside is the prime suspect is no longer a councillor and is therefore beyond the scope of any punishment that it might want to mete out. The incident has its roots in a planning meeting in September last year when an application was being heard to put a mobile home on a farm housing rare breeds of sheep. The solemnity of the debate was apparently interrupted by a male councillor making unhelpful baaing noises. Everybody in there say bar.
Bah.
That was weak. This so enraged Councillor Jeff, who represents the area where the farm is, that he reported the incident to the Standards Board for England, which in turn referred it back to Havering Council for investigation. Now, after a probe estimated to have cost £10,000, the list of suspects has been narrowed down to 4, who will be quizzed by the Standards Hearing Subcommittee in November. One of the suspects, Dennis, a former Labour councillor and deputy mayor, said, "This has been an extremely expensive example of the worst kind of council bureaucracy. The fact that this investigation has cost so much time and money is the height of stupidity." A council spokesman... See, this is what I mean when I say that the people in charge, their first response to anything is, "Oh, no, it isn't." A council spokesman denied the report extended to 300 pages, though he admitted that it was substantial. Well, 299 then. Something of that order. £10,000. Who said that? Louise.
Hi, Nick.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks.
Too much time and money on their hands, I think, to carry out something like that.
Yeah, they've got our money and they're going to spend it.
Yeah, exactly. I was sat on the bus today.
You were what?
Sat on the bus today.
On the bus?
Yeah. And then I was like at the front, and someone at the back had an MP3 player on, right?
Yeah.
And everybody could hear the music. Yeah.
Like that.
And I know I should have been annoyed, but it kind of made me laugh, because this person obviously thought that only he could hear his music, but everyone else could. So it kind of made me laugh.
Oh, well, I'm glad you shared that with us.
But I don't know about you, but if I've got something like that, I always feel like I'm being a pain to the people, and I'm annoying them if I have it on too loud.
Well, yeah, you and me, we're part of the old guard. I can't enjoy loud anything if I feel that I'm irritating other people, because there's just this loud voice in my mind that's louder than the thing that I'm listening to, and it's shouting at me, "You're annoying other people," it says, and so I have to turn it down, otherwise I just can't get into it. But I think we're alone, Louise, you and me.
Yeah, considerate people.
Everyone else is mentally giving everyone the finger all the time.
Without realising it, though, sometimes.
Well, how can they not realise it? I don't, yes, they must realise, surely. I mean, not just that. I mean, just things in general, where people are just irritating in general.
Mm.
And they'll come back from the pub at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they'll whack the stereo up really loud and play Christa Berg over and over and over again. And do a little dance, whatever it is that they're doing in there, to enjoy the same song over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And they must know that that other people can hear it. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and yet they don't care, is what it is. Or it just doesn't occur to them. The bit of their brain that is wired in and is supposed to, alert them to their own stupidity has been shorted.
Well, when you're drunk, you don't realise how loud you're being anyway. So.
Yeah, you do. I've never been drunk enough to turn music up loud enough to wake the people next door. Never, not once, ever. How can you be?
Yeah, I suppose so.
So how are the people in Barnsley? As stupid as the people in Hull?
I got some friends that live in Hull. But, I don't know. I think I'm pretty stupid, I don't know.
Well, it's a stupid hot spot. Hull and Bradford is, Barnsley is around that area, right?
Yeah, we're in the middle. I don't know. I think that we're dizzy. I think.
You're what?
We're a bit dizzy.
Dizzy?
Yeah, we don't think about what we're doing, I think, sometimes from what I've seen. Or what we're saying.
So what are you doing?
You are?
What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah. Working towards being a DJ.
Oh, right, I'm at university. And actually, I've got to read this book. I've got it in front of me right now. It's Law for Journalists.
Oh, you don't want to read that. Throw that straight in the bin, I did.
It's just about slander and defamation and stuff like that.
It's about what?
Slander and defamation and what happens when you go to court.
What happens when you go to court?
Yeah.
Why would you go to court?
What you can't print and what you can print. But it goes, it was £20, it's like 500 pages long.
I know, far too many words for a person to read, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you're at university. Most people go through school without reading a single solitary book. This thing came out today. Standards have slipped so low that it's possible to get a top grade GCSE in English literature. What was your grade in English literature, Louise?
I got a B.
A B?
Yeah.
It's possible to get a top grade in GCSE English literature without having read a book, according to a university professor and secondary school head of English. Did you read a book?
Well, you have it in front of you, what you have to write about. We did. You had to read it, and then you had to answer questions about it.
Right.
I never read a proper book before. I read magazines and stuff like
that. So while you were at school, you read some magazines, but not an actual book.
No.
And you got a B in GCSE English.
Yeah.
You never read one book?
Well, we read one together as a class, but that's it.
You read one together?
Yeah.
What, out loud?
Yeah, like, you'd have the book in front of you, and, like, the teacher
Jill
start
and
reading.
John
You'd ask other people to
have a
read.
dog called Sam. What was it? What book was it?
It was Macbeth, I think.
You think?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and you can't remember whether it was Macbeth or not?
I know it was Shakespeare.
Right, did a lot of people die?
Yeah.
Or was it a happy thing?
No, a lot of people died.
Right. It was probably Macbeth. It's the easiest one.
Yeah.
All right, so you did read a book. Well, you didn't actually read a book. You sat there and listened.
Yeah, well, kind of listened.
Close, yeah. The teaching of literature by extracts has replaced understanding and appreciation to such an extent that some pupils believe Romeo and Juliet, the Shakespeare tragedy, has a happy ending, they say.
No, that's something in the films, though, isn't it?
That's a perfect response, Louise. You've seen the film. Pupils can get through the whole of their compulsory secondary education without reading any book from cover to cover, they claim. It's quite possible to receive an A-star English GCSE without having fully read any novel or play.
Well,
what?
You have to spell, and it's about grammar and pronunciation, and... Well, like I said, we had in my GCSEs, we had the passage that we had to write about in front of us, and we just had to read it and answer questions, like what happened and...
Right, this is exactly what they're saying here. It's all about extracts.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't understand the thing at all. So in other words, people will be studied on Romeo and Juliet without ever having read it, and will believe that it's got a happy ending because every movie they've seen has.
Yeah, yeah.
Teachers are being encouraged by the assessment-led, data-driven regime to drill their pupils to perform in tests and exams. In other words, like robots, like parrots. Just learn the following facts, get an A-star, and then we can go to the top of the government league tables, and it's trebles all round. A spokesman for the Department of Education said, "Oh, no, it's not." What a surprise.
Surprise.
I suppose we should be grateful that they can come out of school with an A-star in English literature and be able to read at all. Magazines, you say?
Yeah.
All magazines, unless they're advertising with this station, are ridiculous wastes of time. Am I right?
Well,
yes.
apart from the one that I read.
Which is Heat.
DJ Mag.
It's what?
DJ Mag. It's about music.
DJ Mag?
Yeah, it's about music.
Yo, yo, yo. You need to call your mother more often. All right, well, the best of luck, Louise.
Okay.
You'll need it, all right.
Okay, no, bye.
Ta-ta, this is LBC.
3.
I never know when it's going to end.
Oh, do I? I don't know which one Alex plays.
Aha! £1,000 to spend on your utility bills. How does that sound? Coming soon as part of Energy Efficiency Week with James O'Brien on weekday mornings from 10. If you log on to lbc.co.uk and let us know your energy efficiency tips for the home, James also needs to London households. Does that mean to London, as in the number 2, spelled T-O?
Yeah, it must be T-W-O.
Right, it's probably written this.
They must have an A+.
Yeah, an A+ in English literature, yeah. James also needs 2, count them, 2 London households to take part in an experiment during Energy Efficiency Week with British Gas. Save energy and money and win cash with British Gas and London's LBC. Where are we? LBC 97.3. 10 o'clock weekday mornings. James O'Brien. They're all regulars. so far. Every single one's been a regular. So not that I don't like speaking to regulars, I certainly do. Let's have, let's have newbies, eh? And I'll wait till we get some. She was talking, Louise was saying about, you know what, I can't even remember what she was saying. It was something about, law, that's right. And how you shouldn't say things that aren't totally true, unless you're the Sun, in which case you can just completely get away with it. And things that appear on the front page with a giant picture and a story which is printed as fact, with extra details on pages 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and a colour pull-out in the middle. And often, 6 months later, there'll be a microscopic story on page 34 that you virtually have to get an electron microscope out to read, in which they say, sorry about that. Yeah, we just totally made that up. And this was Wednesday the 11th. This is appearing in The Sun. On July the 17th, we carried reports from Italian media that Naomi Campbell had an argument. In other words, they're blaming the Italian media. Like, whatever comes off the fax machine, they'll just stick it straight in the paper. They won't check, because there's no such thing as journalism anymore. It's not our fault, which is the disease that's spreading through this country. No one takes responsibility for anything they do anymore, from Wayne Rooney getting sent off, and the Sun is still saying that the winker Ronaldo, who had Wayne Rooney sent off, not realising that it wasn't Ronaldo who had Rooney sent off, it was Rooney who had Rooney sent off. But they just don't get it, and nobody seems to get that anymore, that nothing's anyone's fault, nothing's the fault of the person who's actually doing it. It's always someone else, not me. It's like the Bart Simpson defence. It was like that when I got here. Nothing to do with me. So the Sun said, oh, they were duped. Yeah, we saw this report in the Italian media, and we plastered it all over our newspaper without checking it. How dare they, the Italian media? It's more or less the story here. Not our fault. On July the 17th, we carried reports from Italian media that Naomi Campbell had an argument with a photographer and a yacht's chef while sailing in Italy, accompanied by a photograph of Ms. Campbell on the yacht. We've been asked to point out by Ms. Campbell... we've been asked to point out that Ms. Campbell did not have an altercation with either person, did not cause £30,000 worth of damage, did not trash the boat in any way, and none of the staff were forced to duck for cover. We are happy to set the record straight and apologise to Ms. Campbell and have agreed not to publish this photograph. Which is not published, so... said photograph, they mean, not this photograph, because otherwise there would be a picture of it there, right? But they're not publishing it, so they're not publishing said photograph. So in other words, every single word of their story was total rubbish. So how can you believe anything they ever print?
You can't.
Well, we get in the papers in a little while, and I do read the front pages of the tabloids with trepidation sometimes, because, you know, it's always about people's sexual shenanigans. And if I read it, and I get it wrong, they'll sue us too. Or me personally. And if you're Naomi Campbell or Elton John, you can do that sort of thing. But most of the poor types that they write about, they haven't got this comeback. They just have to sit there and take it. And, you know, thank you, sir, may I have another? But if you're a trillionaire, then you can turn round and take on the might of Murdoch, who says that he's every time he comes to Britain he has to have tea with Tony. Has to have tea with Tony, and then then turns around and also has to have tea with Gordon, because Gordon gets very upset if Murdoch sees Tony and not Gordon. So he has to have 2 teas, one with each person in the 2 days that he's over here, because he owns the world, pretty much, and is flitting from America. He's an American, you know. How he worked that out, I've got no idea. You have to be an American in order to own TV stations and, you know, lots of media over there, so, you know, needs must. Is that the right phrase?
Doesn't sound like an American.
No. No, not really. He's an Australian American.
Yeah.
Don't be racist. Yeah, and he's like, why on earth does Gordon want to have tea with me, he says. Well, you know, it's just... And he's, like, acting bemused that, you know, both of them want to have tea with him. Well, they don't. They don't want to have tea with him. They just want the Sun to write nice things about them. And they think that that's the easiest way to get it done. Well, naturally it is.
How can he write nice things about them if he's got to have tea with them separately? Why can't they all have, the three of them together?
Well, I don't think that Tony and Gordon ever spend much time together, do they?
Well, you know that.
It would be a bun fight, literally.
We know that. But
literally and figuratively.
I suppose
an actual bun fight.
They could have a banana sandwich and everything would be very amenable, really.
No, you can't have a banana sandwich in public. It's all right for breakfast, mind, but not in public, because the banana will always slide out of the bread.
That would be unfortunate, wouldn't it?
Unfortunate?
Unfortunate.
You said innovative a little while ago as well.
Innovative.
Because the BBC say that. What point did innovative become innovative?
Thank you for that. It didn't. It was mispronounced.
No, I think that's the correct pronunciation.
Say it again?
Well, the BBC say innovative, which was complete news to me, because it always used to be innovative.
Innovative, yes.
It's around about the same time that Uranus became Uranus.
I love that one.
Because, when I was at school, it was Uranus, wasn't it?
Yes, it was all... When Russell Grant used to do astrology, it was Uranus.
There's so many things that I could say about that right now, but I'll restrain myself. It's Aid who can get laid. Or is it? Is he dead? Medics are, at present, rushing to the scene. Let's have... Oh no, you've got to put the fader down. Press and press and pressing and pressing. Tallulah!
Hello, you!
Hey, you.
Hi.
How's your parrot?
He's okay in the moment. Earlier he managed to open his food container and stole all his food until I caught him.
That's a bad parrot.
It's a red budgie, yeah. Always when it's quiet, there's something dodgy going on. But, I'm the one I never read a book.
You never read a book?
No.
Ever?
No. In school, I started the first page, realized how boring the whole thing is, and then when it was down to being able to know everything, I asked my classmates. But...
And this is in Germany?
That's in Germany.
Right. Where you'd expect everything to be more, just better than it is here.
Well, I think reading from my point of view is depressing, because you're just hanging in front of a book, everything is quiet, and you're trying to pick up the words somebody else put on those pages.
Yeah, like reading, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what you're reading. What were you reading? The phone book?
No, I mean, I started books, about, how the mind works, about PSI, how the beyond,
About PSI, did you say?
Yes.
Pounds per square inch?
PSI?
PSI?
No, PSI is how the sixth sense works.
The letters PSI?
Yeah, PSI, paranormal, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's N. PN something.
No, PSI.
S for sugar.
S for sugar, yeah.
PSI. Paranormal. Well, that would be PN. But never mind. There's a silent N.
What? Maybe I'm wrong, but right. But, you see, when people read, they're just ignoring the whole around themselves.
Yeah, like reading.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be communicating with other people all the time.
How much do you read then?
I don't read books either. I'm, but I did at school, naturally. When you had to.
Well, I do. Well, you see, English is my second language, and I speak it and write it perfectly. I just find reading as a hobby. You have to sit down. You be stationary. I normally never sit down at all.
Right, always on the go.
Always on the go, like a wizard.
Yes.
Unless I play guitar or doing my computer and so on, of course. But that's brilliant, because then you can read everything instantly.
Well, maybe reading is not your thing.
Oh, you know what I like to read? instructions, because then I know exactly what I'm doing with the thing that I've got in front of me.
You like to read instructions?
Yeah.
Well, that's very unusual for a woman, isn't it?
It is.
Because by and large, women don't like to read instructions, and, well, neither do men, actually. Men can't... I hate reading instructions. I just assume that I can figure out whatever it is that I'm in front of by osmosis.
Yeah, but if you have 5 synthesizers, and guitars is another matter, and a computer, and all these machines that I've got, yeah? If you don't read the instructions, you haven't got a clue what the hell you're doing.
So for fun, you read instruction manuals, and I read papers.
Yeah, all the garbage.
Mostly the TV section. What's on tonight? Yeah.
Exactly. What's tomorrow's fish and chips paper?
Yeah. Huh. Well, we're a couple of hopeless cases, really, aren't we? I'm venting here about kids not reading, and I don't choose to do that myself. Although I do have a favourite book.
Which is?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
It's about what?
It's about, well, now there's a book that I think that you would enjoy. Hunter S. Thompson.
Why would I enjoy it?
Well, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't. To try it and get back to me, all right?
All right, man.
Right. Write it down, and that's your homework. That's your assignment, all right?
Oh, teacher, take what's called? Teacher, leave the kids alone.
Yeah, something like that, exactly. Hey, I've got rock news, by the way.
Oh, come on then.
Rock news about David Bowie.
That is?
Well, I'll give it to you after this break.
Okay.
It's a tease. This is LBC.
Me?
David Bowie news. David Bowie versus SpongeBob. Where are we? 3 minutes. I don't think I can pad this out for 3 minutes. Rock singer David Bowie has voiced a character for cult children's cartoon series SpongeBob SquarePants. You ever see that?
Not personally, but I know someone that has.
I know what he looks like.
Not personally?
My son's seen him.
Oh, right. Don't you sit there and watch TV with your son just to, you know...
Only the educational programmes. SpongeBob is recreation.
Right. Do they have educational programmes for kids anymore?
That's a very good point. Probably about one a week, if that.
And who does it? The
BBC Education.
Oh, the BBC. Of course they do. Like what?
Oh, Romans in Britain type school thing to go along with the syllabus in the school.
All right. So it's not. So it's not entertainment. It's
educational.
Well, I suppose so. Yeah, but it's not for consumption at home. It's for schools. They're probably forced to do it, right?
Yes, it's probably out of hours.
How old's your son?
7.
Probably edutainment.
Right.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
No, you did not. So what's his favourite? Scooby-Doo used to be mine. They've still got that rubbish on. I can't believe it. Scooby-Doo's still going. It's always the bloke that they meet before they go into the abandoned fairground.
It's such a giveaway. It's like Columbo. You just always know who it's going to be.
Well, you know who it's going to be with Columbo, because you see him do it before Columbo shows up.
That would be why.
Yes. Scooby-Doo is supposed to be a mystery. You don't get to see them actually do it. Only at the end do they unmask the perp, and he says, "You pesky kids," or something along those lines. Rock singer David Bowie has voiced a character for cult children's cartoon TV series SpongeBob SquarePants. Bowie lends his voice to a character called Lord Royal Highness for an episode of the Seabed set series to be shown next year. Meanwhile, the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants has rejected claims that the cheerful creation is gay. He's become an icon among homosexuals in the United States, as well as a huge hit with children, according to the Wall Street Journal. SpongeBob holds hands with his pink best friend, lives in an underwater pineapple, and gets boating lessons from a teacher called Mrs. Puff. SpongeBob may be, quote, kind of special, but he was not designed to be a gay character, his creator Stephen Hillenburg told the Wall Street Journal. Well, I'm stunned was even interested. The gay community likes the show because of its tolerant attitude, he says. Everyone is different, and the show embraces that. The character SpongeBob is an oddball. He's kind of weird. He's kind of special. I always think of him as being somewhat asexual. Well, yeah, he's a sponge. But he also does like music, apparently.
Where the hell are my Judy Garland records, damn it?
Nick Abbott.
Come on, we're running late!
Hey, Aid.
Hello, Nick.
How are you? You what?
Am I on now?
It sounds like you.
Blimey, what a terrible time I gave through to you.
I can't hear a word you're saying, mate.
I say, well, after the fourth time I tried to get through to you, I phone kept dying. I'm on the landline now.
Oh, it must be that excellent mobile phone technology you're using.
They're great, aren't they? That's unusual for you to stop take a call on air when the
music's on, yeah, I know.
Phoned me about it.
It's a strange night.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed, by the way.
Disappointed about what? I wondered if you would.
Well, I've got to try and be special, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping that the half got to number 3. I was hoping it was going to be number 2.
I think for this moment, for this hour alone, we're going to have to just drop the music, because I can't hear a word he's saying. Yeah. What was that, Aid?
I was hoping the half would be number 2, but it wasn't. It was number 3.
Well,
that would have been a great comic effect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's always number 2 for me. Yeah.
Hey, you left us in a bit of suspense last week.
In what sense?
You mentioned this Jeremy Clarkson book you've been mentioned, and you never finished it off.
Oh, yes. Well, you remember recently I had a near-death experience.
Right.
And, when I was having an actual full-on heart attack, apparently it wasn't, and Lucy insisted I continue working, and then drove myself home. Well, anyway, I'm seeing this doctor, and I was waiting in his area, minding my own affairs, and, among the magazines, this doctor actually has up-to-date magazines, can you believe it?
Lovely.
But one of the things he had on his table was Jeremy Clarkson's book called Cars, or something like that, Jeremy Clarkson's Cars, or something along those lines. And in it are a lot of articles that have got nothing to do with cars. I think it's just basically a collection of columns, which is an easy way to make a book, and an easy way to make, a couple of $100,000. He must have all the money that Saudi Arabia doesn't own.
Yeah. Are we thinking from the same thing, though? Because there's been people talking about this on the net because you never finished it off.
Are we talking about what same thing?
About him mentioning you had another play. It's all about politicians or something.
Well, it was, in the book, there's a column, I imagine it's a column, because they're just, just over a page long. It's about columnar length. A piece called Radio Days, spelled D-A-Z-E, I think, which was about the start-up of a local station from BBC, which I was part of, and it was, I think, probably the worst, up until this point, it was the worst time of my life. And, I was...
my call?
No, not quite. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. And I was on a breakfast show at that station, and he said that, basically he was saying that you can't stand radio, it's all rubbish, it's all, beige and bland. Which I would have thought would be right up his street. He's this gigantically fat middle-aged man of bland tastes. But anyway, he was saying that when it started, it was great because it had all sorts of people. One of whom was me.
Yeah.
And he said, and this is imprinted on my mind, Jeremy Clarkson himself said that he was treated, his word, to me calling up politicians and insulting them.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, exactly what I used to do. Yeah.
It is, yeah. Yeah,
how I got away with it for such a long period of time, I don't know. I think it was probably I stayed there for a year because it would have been a loss of face for the people who hired me in the first place. I'm sure they realised their mistake about 10 seconds after I went on the air, because it was going to be Jonathan King, I think, and he wanted to play his own music, so they said, "Oh no, we can't have that," and so they had they put me in there instead at the last minute.
What was you like then? The radio version of Jeremy Paxman or something?
No, I was... basically, I'd just come off Radio Luxembourg, which was the first gig I'd ever done, my first professional experience, and I knew nothing. I was... I was hired to do this sort of top 40, DJ thing, and midstream, about sort of 3 months in, I heard somebody sent me a tape from America of a guy called Neil Rogers, who's a talk show host. Yeah. And previously, I'd only heard British-style talk radio, which back then was so boring, it would put you into a coma just listening to it. And it didn't even occur to me that that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. I just wanted to be on the radio. If only I'd known then what I know now, I'd probably still be here.
Still do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because once it's in you, it can't. It's it's got to come out, right?
So can you envision yourself doing that till like you retire or something now? Is that what you'd want to do now?
What, this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the only thing, although my parents want, with every fibre of their being, me to do an actual proper job. You know, every time I go home, they say, "You're not still doing that, are you?" Oh, Nicholas, on and on it goes. Raise my eyes to the roof and just pretend I'm paying attention. But, what else can I do? Completely useless at anything else.
You don't want to do a proper job, not like me.
Well, no, I'm 186 years old. To switch streams now would be, foolish in the extreme. Particularly as I don't actually do anything. I mean, even when I'm at work, I'm not doing anything. I mean, this isn't really what you consider to be work, is it?
Well, I've never done it, but, I mean, I'd love to play music or something. That'd be easy.
Well, that is easy, yeah. Playing music is the easiest job in the world. Being a DJ, I can't think of anything easier, because most of the time you're just reading off a screen. You don't actually have to come up with anything to say. If you press the big button marked next, and it plays the next track, gone are the days when people used to choose their own music. And then when you're speaking in between music, which is, once every 20 minutes, you're just reading what it says on the screen. But this job right here, this is way more stressful.
Yeah. The mystery's gone behind it as well now because of the internet. Everybody knows what the DJ looks like or the presenter.
And it's always a disappointment. They never look like how you think they look, because the voice sounds great. It's all warm and brown and round, and you think, I'm considering having sexual interface with this person. And then you see, and then you ask for their picture, and they send it to you in the post, and your immediate reaction is to scream and run from the room.
People still ask for that, because, like I say, it's on the internet now, so... I thought that'd be a dying sort of thing, people asking for photographs.
Yeah, you'd think so, yeah.
No.
Well, I don't know. Do we have photographs here? Do we have, do people give out postcards of their own face?
I don't think they've got any left, have they? They're on the website now.
We certainly do. We used to. They've done some new photos recently. I'm sure there'll be postcards.
Really?
Oh, there you go.
Is there a demand for them?
Well...
A big blank silence.
Right, that'll be a no then.
No, I bet there is. I bet there is.
I think 3 flew out the door last week.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, Nick,
we can barely keep up.
I better get on to what I was calling about.
All right, go on then.
Yeah, have you ever parked your car and can't remember where you put it? I went to Birmingham the other day and it was absolute horrendous.
What, Birmingham?
Yeah, well,
yeah, I do agree. Hideous place.
Driving in there was a nightmare, and the sat-nav don't help much.
Mind you, it changed a lot since I went, because I went a long time ago, and it was so hideous, it almost melted your face. I mean, Birmingham was hideous up close and from a distance, because on the way to Wales, you drive past Birmingham, and you can see it out the... You know your sun visors sometimes go from the front, and you can put them on the side window. That's what you want to do. As soon as you see the sign that says Birmingham, you want to put it on the right-hand side of your window as you're heading to Wales. Because, just to glance at it, you'd turn to, rigor mortis would immediately start setting in.
Yeah.
But they've changed it considerably since then, and the centre of Birmingham has got this big thing in it. There's no other way to describe it, really. It's this large globular thing, that blue thing with the silver circles on it. Isn't that Birmingham?
It's like a sort of design thing with round blob. I can say blob.
Yeah, that's Birmingham, right? This blue thing with yeah, isn't it?
I don't know Birmingham, I must admit.
Oh well, thanks for the input.
Well, at least you're educating me.
Yes, Birmingham has the world's weirdest looking shopping centre. It looks like... I don't even know what it looks like. It looks like a joke, really. It's like some sort of architectural joke. Like, they drew it on a piece of paper and they said, no one will build that, surely. And someone gave them £100 million to do just that. I bet they couldn't believe it. And there it is, sitting in the middle of all this hideous mess that is Birmingham, but around its precise, inside, actually, it looks great. We could be anywhere. Could be in Texas. But it's certainly sharpened up the place.
Yeah, I wanted to. I think the only reason I went is to get a leather jacket, because I wanted a new jacket, and I couldn't get one from round where I live.
Which is where?
It's Derbyshire. So I went to the city of Derby. They've got the usual shops. They're either a sort of a bit camp-looking, or they don't fit me.
Always avoid leather jackets that have exaggerated shoulders. Leather jackets with shoulder pads is a bad look, even on you, Aid.
That's going back to the 80s.
So you want to go? You wanted a leather jacket to go with your convertible sports car, eh?
Well, I've always worn a leather jacket, but it's time I had a new one, so I actually got one from Birmingham.
A leather jacket to go with your leather seats. It's all white, clean.
Yeah, it's all that's a bit perverted now. And I think I like to go for leather.
Well, you're a man on the town. You want to look sharp, right?
Not like Pat Sharp.
Somebody passed me. I was going out of town, and somebody passed me in a. The first thing that I noticed was that it was a convertible Mercedes, and it really wasn't that warm. It wasn't warm enough to have the top down, you know what I mean? I mean, it's October. It's been perfectly pleasant just lately, but going through the air at 70 miles an hour, it's not that warm. And the second thing I noticed was where they had blonde hair that was sticking up in rigid clumps. Well, they had to be rigid because it was sticking up while they were going through the air at 70 miles an hour. They must have been stuck it up with super glue. And the third thing I noticed was that it was like a luminous blonde, like an unnatural blonde, sticky-up hair in a convertible Mercedes. And as it went by me at way over the speed limit, I noticed that the number plate was something. Well, I better not say the first bit because that might identify them. But the second bit was DJ. It had 5 characters on the number plate, and it was something DJ. And as it went by, the car actually made the sound, hey, as it went by.
What sort of an idiot we got to be to, be that famous, have a number plate, and then speed?
I know. Yeah, that is 7 shades of stupidity. That's it.
I've never told you this, but when I first had that car, I got pulled over, like 2 days, it was like, sort of December time, I got pulled over by the police.
Why?
Apparently there was, there's pulling people over in high-powered vehicles because of people ram-raiding. Hey, ram-raiding? What am I going to go in there? I'm not going to get a widescreen TV in it.
Right.
You want to sort of say that sort of thing, but, you can't be clever with them.
No, yeah, like on a plane. Yeah, you better keep hold your tongue, exactly. I got apprehended by the police. I was walking along in a westerly direction.
Yeah.
Minding my own affairs. And it was February. And they stopped me and says, and where are you going, sir? And I said, I wasn't flippant. I told them exactly where I was going and exactly where I'd been. And as they were checking my details, I just politely asked why they had, apprehended me. Caught by the fuzz I was.
And why was it?
And they said, there's been a lot of burglars in this area, sir, and you were wearing gloves. It was February 8th. I never know when it's going to end. That's it, over, is it?
Everything is going extremely well.
Cocaine use is on the rise. That's the way they take it these days. They put it on rice. Cocaine use is on the rise among urban middle classes, the latest official figures show. And how exactly do they find out these figures? Like, they go around with a clipboard. Hello, yes, we're the government. We'd like to ask you a lot of questions about how many drugs you take. Righto, come right in, they say. They've made up this list of official figures. Trends uncovered by the British Crime Survey indicate that the numbers using the drug since 1998 have doubled. That's what they say at the beginning of this. But then if you look at the actual figures, and they haven't doubled, they've gone up by 600%. Among young people, use of cocaine has shot up since Labour took office from 1.4% to 7.6%, which is about 600%, right? Get your calculator out, something like that. It's not doubled, it's way more than that. So 1.4 to 7.6, you work it out. Or, well, these are the people that admitted doing it, of course, to a government inspector who probably came with policemen and clipboards. It's estimated that some 2 million people use illegal drugs per month, and 11 million have indulged at some stage in their lifetime. The government, which is 8 years into a 10-year drug strategy, I'll read that again, 8 years into a 10-year drug strategy, claimed yesterday that the figures showed that it was working.
What?
Well, only if the strategy is to have more people take more drugs, which is an odd message for the government to be sending. I didn't think that was their thing at all. How is the war on drugs going, by the way?
Oh, fabulous.
Hello, Philip.
Oh, good evening, Nick. You're doing lists tonight.
Lists?
Yes.
I am not.
Yes, you were. You mentioned several things there on your list. So I thought, hello, what's going on?
Yes. You thought it's your turn.
Yes, I know. Before I make my main point, Nick...
Oh, God.
There was a woman on Cream last week that was looking for you.
Woman on Cream?
You know the LBC Cream show, where they play the best?
Yeah.
And they were playing a bit from Clyde Ball, and this woman came on, and she was looking for you. She wanted to know where you were.
I'm here?
Yeah, well, Clive told her. Clive said you were on Saturday night at 10 o'clock. And she seemed satisfied and went off very happy.
Another satisfied customer.
Yes. I was in the library today on the internet, and I had about...
Do you not have a pewter?
No.
You're the only one who doesn't.
I used to have a television with a computer in, but it went up the creek.
A television with a computer
yes,
in?
it was an internet built into the television.
Nonsense.
And it was pretty good while it lasted, but...
There's no such thing.
Oh, yes, there is. It was, can I name the company that make it?
Go on.
Well, they did make it. It was called Bush. It was a Bush internet television.
Did it have to be called Bush?
Yeah, and we just plugged it into the mains and up came the internet. And you could send emails.
As though by magic?
Yes.
Huh. I've never heard of it.
Yes, as I say, I think they've stopped making them, but I still use the internet facility, for my mail and such like. It's pretty good.
That's just the way you said it, the internet facility.
Yes, internet facility.
Right.
And I had about 10 minutes left on my hour in the library, because you get an hour free, and I thought, now, what can I punch in? And then something came to me, radio soap operas. I think they should bring them back.
Well, they have one, don't they?
Well, LBC used to have one.
We did?
Oh, yes. It used to go in the breakfast show, when Bob Holness and Douglas Cameron did the breakfast show.
Bob Holness?
Yeah.
What, can I have an E, please, Bob?
Yeah. The Bob and Doug breakfast show. It was, I'm trying to think, I think it must have been around the late 70s, early 80s.
I've just had an idea, Philip.
What's that?
Bob Holness should be on the shortlist for the people to do that stupid countdown show.
Yes. I think I know who's going to get it.
Michael Aspel?
No. I think it's going to be Tom O'Connor.
Oh, come off
I think so. I'm only guessing. I mean, if I was going to bet him, man, I'd go and have a bet on Tom O'Connor.
Michael Aspel should get that show. Do you know why? Because he twinkles just like Des does. And women of a certain age find him irresistible.
Oh, so they'll be tuning in if he gets it.
Plus, he hasn't been on telly in a good long while.
No, he hasn't, has he?
What's he doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do people who've been on television for... Because if you're on TV once, you're famous for the rest of your life.
Oh, is it? Is that a fact? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Well, yeah, because people are always saying, here, aren't you? Didn't you used to be... Like that. Yeah.
That's right, I remember you.
I hate you. They'll say things like that to him in the street. So you'll always be famous, always recognised wherever you go. Every time you're eating in a restaurant, the entire room swivels around to see you try and shovel food in your mouth, and then you get stage fright and you start dropping it down your front.
It's one I often feel sorry for celebrities, when you see them, do you go up and, just say hi, or what do you,
Don't say hi to celebrities. They hate that.
Oh, they don't like that. So you just, if you just say, well, hello, or something.
No, don't.
No. So if I see you in the street, Nick, don't say anything to you.
Well, if I see you first, Philip, there will be. It won't be necessary for you to ignore me because it'll just be my dust that you see.
You'll share lists and run off.
Yeah, something like that.
This soap opera was called The World of Melanie Parker, and it was sponsored by an off-licence firm. And it used to go out in the breakfast show, and it lasted 1 minute. And
not much of a soap opera, just the 1 minute.
It was wonderful.
Or 1 minute every day.
Yeah, it was 1 minute, and they played the same episode about 3 or 4 times during the breakfast show. And it was written by a guy called Tony Bilbo. Have you heard of Tony Bilbo?
No.
Oh, well, he was a story writer. Actually, they tried to transfer it to television, but it didn't work.
Well, you know, what a minute-long programme. It's not for TV, is it?
On LBC, it was perfect. And it set me thinking. I was looking on the internet.
Well, what kind of thing happened?
Well, it was set in this village of Woodstone Green, and it was the diary of this woman called Melanie Parker. And in the village, it was a spoof. They had hangings, people were decapitated, and
that's nice.
Things like that. And it was hilarious. It really, really was I'm sure that one or two must be listeners this evening who remember Melanie Parker with affection. But I was looking on the internet, and I know the Americans started off with radio soap operas. And there was a couple of titles. When a Girl Marries was sponsored by evaporated milk.
What do people use evaporated milk for, by the way?
I don't know. I mean, in the past I put it in coffee or something, you know.
And what is evaporated milk?
I'm not sure.
Is it milk that's had the water content?
They must have taken something out of it. But
because it's thick, right? Thick and sweet.
Well, condensed milk is thick.
Yeah, condensed milk is thick and sweet. What is evaporated milk is that vile stuff that your parents used to put on a fruit salad.
Oh yes.
That made something that was inedible even worse.
Oh, don't you like fruit salad?
Awful.
Oh.
Anything that comes in chunks.
Oh, I love the
like the vegetable medley.
Oh, I love papaya.
Also hideous.
I love papaya.
Well, that's nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. Get a tin of papaya, ice cream on the top, wonderful. There was another one called Dr. Paul. Now, Dr. Paul was I know a little bit about Dr. Paul because, do you remember the pirate radio stations out in the Thames Estuary?
No.
On the forts?
No, I don't. No,
they had the pirate radio station.
I was 10 in 1970.
Well,
it all passed me by.
They had the ships, Caroline and all these others.
From a point at sea.
Yeah,
to the circles of your mind.
There's these forts.
No stopping it. Go on.
There's these forts. And there was a radio station there that played what they called beautiful music, and they had this soap opera, Dr. Paul. And I gather they came out on long play records. So they were shipped out, and each day they'd play an LP. And each episode, as I say, was on an LP record. And
sounds like the sort of rubbish you get in that shop that you frequent.
Oh no, don't start. And they're still open. They reckon they're going to be open till Christmas. I told the guy says, when's Nick coming in? I said, I don't know.
Not now, not ever, never.
You might find, a record in there you like.
I've got a record player that's been sitting under my bed since I moved into my flat 2 years ago.
I use mine about 3 or 4 times a week.
Do you know what evaporated milk is?
Oh, no, what is it?
Evaporated milk is fresh milk, which is carefully heated.
Yes.
Not casually.
No.
To remove half the water.
Oh, wow.
As a result of the evaporation of the water, the milk becomes richer and creamier with an increased amount of protein and calcium.
Wow.
Richer and creamier. No, it just becomes more revolting.
Oh, you learn everything on your programme, Nick.
I know, it's like an education, ain't it?
Yes, there was another soap opera called Girl Alone that was sponsored by Quaker Oats.
Why are you telling us who it was sponsored by?
Well, it just seems crazy. There was another one, Jenny Peabody. She was sponsored by Cough Drops.
Wasn't there, like a police, not Dick Dastardly, but Dick Barton, Special Agent, yes. Exactly, yeah, what was that about?
That was wonderful. That was
I bet it wasn't.
I think, hanging off a cliff and you'd have to wait till... And the funny thing was, Nick, they took that off and the same writers created The Archers.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, you do learn something every day.
Abbott. Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
How about... where's Kenley, Tony?
It's near Caterham.
Aha.
Firstly, I listen to LBC pretty much all the week, but not normally on Saturday. But I think you've just changed my listening habits because I think you can join my new party, the Grumpy Old Men, because you're very Ferrari-esque. I can tell. Anyway, Michael Aspel, he still is glinting away because he does the Antiques Roadshow.
Ah, yes. Does he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's been doing it for a few years.
Oh, he doesn't need the work then?
No, I don't think so. He's certainly still doing it, and he still sparkles. So
Now, no offence, Tony, but you seem to be the perfect demographic for that countdown programme. I can't stand it myself, but it's just the tune drives me
I
away.
quite like it, but I personally think, and I think a lot of people mentioned him already, Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry?
Yeah, I think
No. Definitely not.
Why is that?
He's got this sniffy superiority about him that won't make him popular with the salt of the earth types. No, definitely not Stephen Fry.
You're definitely going to be in my party. You've got to be, because you're miserable like I am and Nick Ferrari is. You've got to be. And I went to Bournemouth today. I've got a 17-year-old son who is doing something on his FA coaching badge, and the Bournemouth, like Stratford, where I work in East London, is little Kosovo. The whole country is being taken over. So that's my rant for the night. I won't bore everyone else with it, but it's tired to Bournemouth.
All right, and Bournemouth, right? That's beside the seaside, isn't it? Lovely. And you were about to start singing along, weren't you, Tony?
I was indeed, but
right.
you wouldn't have liked that.
No. Thanks a lot, mate.
All right, cheers.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
I was talking a little while ago about school bribes. No, I wasn't. I was talking about schools and how kids can get an A star. What's your son going to get there, Andrea? What kind of a student is he going to be?
Well, he doesn't seem to be able to read a book, so he'll get an A star as well.
Can't read a book?
Well, he's trying. He's only 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I didn't really pay attention in developmental psychology. I was more interested in the sort of wishy-washy side of it. I can't remember when they're supposed to be able to read. When is it?
Well, kind of now. I mean, he can read little bits, but don't get me on about the education system in the younger primary schools as well as the other schools.
Why not? What will happen?
Let me ask you something. Do you remember? No.
Go on.
Do you remember how to subtract? Seriously. When you learned say 18 take away 10, how did you used to do it? Did you put the 10 under the 18 and borrow one and pay back and all of that?
Yes.
They don't do that anymore. They do things called number lines.
What's that then?
You have to sort of add up before you can take away. So you have to go backwards on a number line. You have a graph. It's so complicated. I was never very good at maths, but I can't do his homework.
Do they not just have calculators now?
I think they've actually confiscated them last couple of years.
Confiscated them?
Yeah, they used to be able to take them into exams, didn't they?
Yeah.
Can't anymore.
For what purpose?
Oh, education.
Yeah, but I didn't think they were bothering anymore. I thought it was all about school tables,
yeah.
and getting your school up the table was the be-all and end-all of education now. And
it is.
And producing kids who know anything is by the by.
Yeah, but they have to kind of appease, the little pockets of angry parents, and I think taking calculators away was one little appeasement that they do.
But that doesn't make any sense, because in the real world you'll have calculators.
I know. And they don't care about handwriting anymore because they do stuff on the computer. Their handwriting, kids, is illegible, a lot of it.
Or spelling. Or grammar, or
spelling,
or anything.
Never spelling. Grammar, punctuation. Honestly, I'll start ranting and I'll be a grumpy old man as well.
He'll have no trouble getting his English literature, though. If he's not read a book, it doesn't matter. They give that way.
Does he actually go to school? Or does he bunk
I'm
off?
beginning to wonder why he goes.
Right.
But he does, yes.
Of course, you wouldn't know if he was skipping school and having a fag round the back. Because he wouldn't tell you, right?
He has got a cough.
Well, there you go, you see. More than 1,300 children are being offered a free trip to Alton Towers if they do not miss a class between now and next July. In an era when increasing number of schools are having to come up with novel ways to boost attendance, the carrot of the visit is being dangled by the new head at St Peter's School in Huntingdon. An Ofsted report criticised St Peter's for attendance figures below the national average for pupils, and the ones that do show up are arriving late for many lessons. Pupils forced to miss the odd day through illness will still be able to go to Alton Towers at a discounted fee. Even with a group rate, the visits could potentially cost the school £15,000. The head teacher said, "We believe in rewarding good work and good behaviour." They're going to take him to Alton Towers, spend £15,000 of our money if they're nice enough to show up. Well, when I was at school, it were grand when I were a lad. We had a similar scheme. You probably remember it. And it was, come to school every day or we'll thrash you, boy. And you'd be bent over the school desk, and it would be, thank you, sir, may I have another? But now it's like free trips to Alton Towers. Staggering. What's your school like?
In all honesty, they try really hard, and they have the parents in a lot, but I must be really old-fashioned, because they try, Nick,
They're trying?
They are trying. They're very frustrating.
Here's one in King's Cross. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick, all right?
I'm all right.
Right, you're talking about exam results, and the young lady there's talking about the school. Well, I'll tell you, and as you're having a rant, I've got a rant and a bugbear with this. My wife is head of exams in a secondary modern school. So she organises all the exams for all the kids. Now, if you take just take two boys of, say, 15. One of them can be a right pain up the backside, played through and got no interest at all in the schooling or the exams. Basically a donut. But then you've got another kid that really tries hard, goes to school every day, but he just can't get it. Like, there's kids like that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Wants to do well, but can't. Well, this government now believes that these kids all have the right to sit exams. So the kid that's a donut and bunks off, when he goes and sits his exam, he can have a reader and a writer. That is,
a what?
Someone reads the questions out to him, he then gives them the answers, and then they write them down for him, because he can't read or write. But the other kid, who's really trying hard, but they don't class as special needs, struggles along on his own steam. So when the exams are then marked, right, there is no recognition on the exam paper that the one kid had the reader and writer.
What?
You get that?
I've never heard of such a thing.
That is true.
So like a lot.
Because my wife has to employ these vigilators to do it. Because what they do is they bring the kids in, and this is the worst thing about it, they bring the kids in at 11 o'clock, say they're coming in at 11 o'clock to sit this exam. The donut, they have to put him in a class on his own so he don't get in contact with any of the other kids. When the exam's finished, they send all the other kids out. They then bring this donut into the classroom, into the room, so then someone can sit down with him so he's had no contact with the other kids either. It's all double bubble as well. Nick, when she tells me, I mustn't really say things like this on the radio, but it absolutely drives me up the wall. They're either thick or they're not. If they're thick, what are they sitting exams for? Do you know why? For bloody exam marks. That's what it is. The schools don't care if they get D's, C's, E's, F's, X's or Z's. How they look at it, they've set the exam and they get paid for it from the government.
Because I would have thought that they would only allow people in if they're going to get... if they had the choice, then they wouldn't allow any donuts.
No, it's equal opportunities.
To sit their exams, because they're going to skew the results
well, that's
down.
What I thought, but it's not, because every child now deserves the same right as an education as everybody else.
Even if they're a donut?
Even if they're a donut.
Well, you certainly opened our eyes.
It's true. Nick, if you dig into it, mate, if you don't open your eyes, you'd think you're grey. But that's why we've got a generation now growing up of delinquent, stunted kids. Hang on, Nick, I'm just being weighed off. Hang on 1 second. Thank you very much. Sorry? Yes, darling. You want to say hello to you? Nick, this lady's going to say hello to you.
Oh, all right then.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, who are you?
Oh, she can't hear you. Put that in your ear.
Hello, Nick.
How are you? Who are you?
I'm a passenger.
You're a passenger?
Yes.
Are you just... He says he's just been weighed. What?
On a cab driver. I'm being weighed off on the cab driver.
Weighed off? What does that mean?
Hi. We've just been to see a fabulous, fabulous show in town.
I seriously doubt that. What's that called then?
I've forgotten.
See? Exactly.
There are women that are allowed to forget.
What's it called? What happened in it?
We Will Rock You.
Oh, blimey. We Will Rock You?
Yes.
That's...
Freddie Mercury.
Oh, painful.
Absolutely fabulous.
Well, he was, yeah, but he's dead now. Freddie's still dead, by the way.
Yes, I know, but it's a fabulous show, and I recommend everybody to go and see it.
Really?
Absolutely.
Are they advertising with us? It's great. Everyone should see it at least once a week.
Fabulous. Not just great, but fabulous.
Right. Great doesn't even begin to cover it. Fabulous, more like, yeah.
Fabulous.
And did it rock you?
Oh, absolutely.
Were you standing up at the end and doing whatever they asked you to do?
You're right, I was.
Did you have a
anyway,
few...
it's been really nice speaking to you. I have to go now because my husband's pulling my arm. So I say good night to you and pass you back.
All right, ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Hello, darling. It was a good show, Nick, wasn't it?
So was that your fare?
Yeah. Good show, wasn't it? She forgot what it was.
Was she drunk?
No.
I think you're...
That would be my grandma.
I think you're lucky to have got away without them fouling the back of your cab. How much does that cost, by the way?
Right, come on, let's see if you're a proper London, see if any good at it. Right, Tottenham Court Road, bottom of Tottenham Court Road to the Royal Lancaster Hotel.
Well, cabs these days, that'll be about 150 quid.
Yeah, go ahead of it. That's just like DJs get paid 15 grand a show now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, if your name's Jonathan Ross, yeah.
Well, yeah, but then that's the same assumption of cab drivers. No, it was £11.
Outrageous.
Go out of it. Licensed taxi, fully insured, fully licensed, and with a driver that's got the knowledge.
And she spoke on the radio as well. Talk about value for money. Yeah, I take it all back. Yeah. All right, well, listen, thanks a lot, Dave, and the best of luck, all right?
Ta-da, Nick. See you later.
Ta-da. This is LBC 97.3.
Tell you because I don't know myself.
Fading singer Christa Berg, it said in the Stun this week. Oh, it's not very nice, is it? Fading. Yesterday said he can, guess what? That's right, perform miracles like Jesus. You remember Christa Berg, right? Lady in Red.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah. The Lady in Red star told TV host Gloria Hunniford. Does she still have a show?
As far as I know, she doesn't, no.
Well, it says right here in the Sun it does. There'll be an apology in about 4 weeks' time. Sorry about that, they said.
Either that or I'll apologise.
The Lady in Red star told TV host Gloria Hunniford, maybe it was just around for a chat, I have found myself able to cure people with my hands, he said. I met someone in the West Indies who was not able to walk. Oh, come on, Chris. Who was not able to walk. I put my hands on him, and he was able to get up. Well, that's not a miracle. He just wanted to, get away in any way he could. De Berg, 55, added, I know the tabloids will get excited by this, so I try to play it down. Oh, too late for that. Gloria was dumbstruck on her BBC One religious show Heaven and Earth. Ah, right, that's what it is. But she told the Sun last night that she did not doubt De Berg. Really? She said, why would he lie about such a thing? Well, I don't know. All sorts of reasons. Let's make a list. In 2004, De Berg threatened to sue anyone who mentioned his healing hands after his daughter spoke of them. Why would you... this is confusing in many and various different ways. First of all, just a general what? Second, why would you threaten to sue someone if they said something that you then went on TV and said yourself? And third, what? Christa Berg laid his hands on... First of all, he laid his hands on a bloke, which was, wrong to begin with. Did he have his permission?
I'm speechless.
And second, the bloke couldn't walk, and then after Christopher touched him, he suddenly could. Isn't that incredible?
He was trying to get away.
I just said that.
Oh, sorry.
You aren't listening to this show, are you? And right at the bottom it says, "Have you been healed by Christopher? Give the Sun News Desk a call. We'll call you right back."
His daughter's Miss World.
Yeah.
What, actually Miss World?
Yeah, she won Miss World about 2 years ago.
Oh, right, well, she's not Miss World anymore, is she? She's a faded has-been, according to the Sun. Oh, come on. Do you think they've had many calls?
No.
No, not really, no. Let's go with Langley. Hello, Dion. Oh, Dion. Dion's gone. How about Northwood? Paul.
Hello there.
Paul.
Hi, Nick. It's Paul. Yeah, it's a bit of a grey area, this Christopher thing, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Some things are only as real as you believe them to be, I think.
Something strange is going on here.
Well, maybe not. I know he's definitely strange. His abilities are, well, I don't know. I know Reiki healers have to have £1 million public liability insurance. Whether he has that or not, I don't know.
Why?
In case you injure the public in any...
Forgive me, but what is a Reiki healer?
Some form of massage through energy pressure spots.
Oh, yeah, I know the thing. Yeah.
I think the more you believe it, the more it's likely to work for you. I think
naturally,
it's one of those. But yeah, just having a moan about schools that your colleague was having a moan about. I've got a 9-year-old that's got the exact same thing. They don't seem to be teaching the mathematics the same way as they used to. They've forgot the basics of the units, the tens, the hundreds and the thousands. And she's getting homework where she has to draw, like say, 32 bubbles and take away 16 of the bubbles. How many bubbles are left? Why she's been taught this way, I don't know. What happens when it gets up to the hundreds? Is she gonna...
Well, that's a lot of bubbles, yeah.
Yeah, so she wants us to draw them too, because she's not been taught any other way.
Well, actual numbers not exciting enough?
Apparently not relevant enough, no.
Because you're often subtracting bubbles in everyday life, yeah.
Well, as you do.
All the time, yeah. Surrounded by them we are.
Yeah, we just... But, yeah, when we tried saying, well, this isn't the way we were shown like this, she's not understanding it. There's a lot of policies that the school holds that I don't agree with, this being one of the major ones.
I don't know anything about what they teach kids in school these days, but I do believe that it became what the rabid tabloids would call trendy left-wing ideas from the 60s and 70s. That they have to do all of this, all that the learning that I went through, and everyone of my age, which was fairly stripped down and unexciting. You just had to learn it, and that was the end of it. It wasn't fun. It was school.
It was necessary, and that was that.
And if you didn't learn it, you didn't pass your exams. If you didn't pass your exams, you would get thrashed, boy.
Yeah, that's
But it's not like that anymore. It's all touchy-feely. Well, of course you can't do that anymore, but it was all, inclusive, and everything has to be happy, and otherwise we'd be, impinging their personal rights.
If you're happy in what you're doing, you're more likely to be interested in getting involved with it, but I think you've got to draw the line between what is actually teaching somebody something and what's just drawing a lot of bubbles, really.
Yeah.
To her it's become boring now. So how they're going to grasp her enthusiasm now, I don't know. She feels... Well, I feel like she's in a too low a maths group, but there isn't such a thing anymore. There's the maths group.
Well, that's another thing they don't do. They don't teach to ability. They just lump everyone in the same class, and everyone has to go at the same speed, which is usually the speed of the slowest person in the class.
The chain's as strong as the weakest link, isn't it? I don't know. Well, they don't have a policy on bullying at this particular school. If someone's particularly naughty, they stand by a wall, and they have to stand there for the whole lunchtime, getting more and more resentful and probably hating the person that got them put there more in the first place. And I think mediation is really the way to go with...
No, more thrashing. That's a short, sharp shock, yeah.
Yeah, perhaps.
Capital punishment, well, let's not get, not out of hand,
But, yeah, with smacking, where does that stop? Where does a slap turn into a smack, and where does a smack turn into a hit? I mean, it's completely, well...
You sound upset, Paul. You sound like at the end of your tether.
Well, I have a 16, 17-year-old as well, so I'm dad.
Yeah, you must be fraught. Yeah, 16, 17.
Yeah, and the other's 9. Yeah,
So in like about 14 years' time, you'll be rid of the 16 and 17-year-olds, but you'll still have the 9-year-old coming up, and you'll have seen all of the nightmare that you're about to go through, and it'll be happening all over again.
Yeah, it's I can see it repeating itself now with the younger one.
Well, that's your punishment for enjoying yourself, Paul.
Oh, that's it, yeah. I'll take that on the chin, I suppose.
Yeah, you can think about that for the rest of your life. All right, thanks a lot, mate.
All right, mate.
Ta-da. This is LBC 97.3.
Careers advice.
Okay, here's a correction in Hereford. Michael.
Hiya. I'm calling. I'm a student. One of these donuts is the guy.
Oh yeah.
Basically, I'm phoning to say that I'm actually a blind student, and I've been sat exams where I've needed a reader or an manual.
All right, I don't think he was talking about that though. I mean, if you're blind and you can't actually read what's in front of you, then that's totally different.
Not just that, it does actually get the point I'm trying to make is, it does get recommended on exams.
What does?
That you need, if you have an amanuensis, it gets put down.
If you have a what?
If you have a reader or a writer in the exam, it gets put down, because I've had people do exams who it's happened to.
Right, by put down, you mean it's written on their exam?
Yeah, it's written on the exam paper, yeah.
Huh.
GCSE, A-level. I've known people who have, who've had, less ability and than probably would, less ability and probably shouldn't be do the exams, and have had readers and writers. It's only occurred the last couple of years. But it does actually happen, yeah.
But you're not a donut, Michael. Stand up for yourself.
Oh, no, I had to know.
There you are, you see. A bit of self-confidence. You're not a donut. I want you to put your hand on your heart and stand up and say, I am not a donut.
There you go, I'm not a donut.
There you go, excellent. See, happier now than you were when you first called. So it's a first. All right, thanks a lot, Michael.
Nice speaking to you.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
I recently got charged by Pizza Hut twice in 2 different locations for pizzas I did not eat on my credit card. And I called my credit card company up and they said, oh yeah, we'll take that off for you, as though it happens all the time. But this story occurred a little while ago. Spooked Pizza Hut staff called in a Ghostbuster after 4 workers saw a phantom in the restaurant. The mysterious spectre was blamed for hiding kitchen equipment and knocking over boxes. It was spotted hovering around the kitchen, the toilet and the stairwell. And the credit card machine, no doubt. It's the ghost what done it.
I mean, this is your act?
I guess I should do some of these calls before I get into the newspapers, right? Because they've been waiting a dog's age and they probably have something very important to tell us. I'll deal with one paper. Which is your favourite newspaper, then?
The one on the top.
How How do you know which one's on the top? We're through 3 layers of glass and we're in different rooms. What are you, psychic? This is not Friday night, this is Saturday night.
1 broadsheet and 1 tabloid.
1 broadsheet, 1 tabloid.
Sunday Telegraph.
1 bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 beer.
Sunday Mirror.
Right. Telegraph and the Mirror. What an odd choice. I mean, they're opposite ends of the spectrum. So you like to have it all covered.
Wouldn't you?
Sunday, so is that what you take during the week as well?
I actually take the Sunday Times and the Mirror and the News of the World, and then whatever comes up in the week.
Whatever comes up? Well, you just go into the newsagents and say, I'll have a lucky dip.
I buy by what cover looks attractive.
Oh, you can't judge it by its cover?
That's
yes,
books,
you
that's
can.
Books.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. All right, let's take a couple of these first. Langley. Hello, Dion.
Hello, mate.
Dion.
Right, I've got 2 stories.
Let's see how the first one goes, shall we?
I left school with 4 good A-levels, and I'm on £20,000 a year.
You almost said week.
No. I work for the government. I'm not on bad money. My son left school. He works for the post office. He's on 25 grand a year. You know.
And what's your point?
I don't know. Just annoys me that he's 20 years old and I'm 47 and he's on more money than me.
Right, you've obviously been a slacker, Dion.
No, I'm not. I work for MI6.
Right. And what kind of job for MI6 pays 20 grand a year? Cleaner.
Not a very good one.
Right. Something you can't tell us, right?
No, not a lot.
It's a secret.
Yeah, I can't tell you a lot.
Oh, go on, mate.
I'll go abroad a lot.
You go abroad? Ah, right. Import, export, shady dealings, in and out?
Yeah, but I don't do a lot, you know. And another thing, I was listening...
Dion, you do not work for MI6 on 20 grand a year.
That's the basic wage, but I'll get a lot more than that.
Oh, what, bonuses?
Well,
depending on how many people you kill. Something like that, is it?
I don't kill people.
Oh, right, okay. Torture?
No, not at all. Everyone thinks that. It doesn't work like
As
that.
you walk into a room and your subject is strapped to a chair with a gag, they think that they're going to be tortured, but you actually have something else on your mind.
You might tie 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But you don't kill them. You know, you just don't do that.
No, because that would be illegal and messy.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
You know.
And MI6 would never do anything
listening
illegal.
to LBC
Yes.
this afternoon.
You were monitoring us. Mm-hmm.
And before the football, and they were on about single people, that they're sad and all that.
Single people are sad.
Yeah, they want people and all that. I
right.
mean, I had a relationship for 15 years, and I was a single parent after that.
What, killer?
No, but I love being single.
Right.
You know, I brought my son up. He's grown up now. He's 20 years old.
And earning more than you are.
And earning more than I am. Well, he's not really, but, I mean, I earn a bit more than him in the end of the day.
Because of all the bonuses you get when you,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, but I've
So is your son going to go into the,
extradition?
Well, you know, the extraordinary, retention, or whatever the phrase is. What's the phrase? Extraordinary, what is it? What do they call it when not extradition, it's when they nick someone and put them on a plane and take them to Kazakhstan.
Extradite.
No, it's an extraordinary rendition. You know, it's one of those phrases that nobody uses in any other circumstance. Extraordinary rendition, they say. No, extradition is when they're doing it, you know, so everyone can see. Extraordinary rendition is when they've got the bag over their head. And chains on their legs.
No, I don't do nothing like that.
Right.
The Americans do that.
I don't see this.
Yeah, leave that to the Americans.
So your sort of thing is more like cattle prods, that sort of thing, is it?
No, I go to countries and sort of look at people.
Ah, right, investigation.
Yeah. I've never tortured anyone. Couldn't do that.
Or you hire other people to do that sort of thing?
Well, other people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
No. Well, you get your hands dirty, wouldn't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, think of the mess. Ugh. So what other countries do you go to, then?
Well, over the last 3 months, I've been to Mexico, Thailand, Yugoslavia, and Holland.
Oh, that's a nice holiday. Did you bring anything back?
No, I don't do duty free. You buy it cheaper in England than what you do on duty free.
Right. Well, of course, you've got connections. You're in the government. You probably get it all free, right?
No.
No end of free stuff comes at your
corner
door.
Where I can buy booze.
Import, export, dodgy backhanders, that sort of thing. Yeah.
No.
Propping up foreign dictators, and they're always grateful. You know.
No.
Couple of cars,
like
that sort of thing.
No, doesn't work like that.
They could probably have someone killed for you. You know, go to Russia, cost you a couple of pounds. Could go over with a list. I'll give you a list.
I think North Korea's going to be the next job.
Oh, right. Oh, well, good luck there, then. You won't stick out at all.
Stick out like a sore thumb.
Spying on North Koreans for mentally ill, hmm?
Well, you just go like a backpacker.
Right. I'm guessing, I'll pull a number out of the air. A 50-year-old backpacker. Very believable.
A lot of them.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, listen, Dion, it's been, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything bad about you because I'll be in front of you in a dentist's chair before I know it.
No, you won't.
Be gentle with me.
No, you do a good show.
All right, thanks a lot, Dion.
And
that's the official word from the government yet.
All right.
All right, cheers, mate.
Put the radio back on.
All right, ta-da.
Bye.
He doesn't need to put the radio on because we're totally bugged. He can see me at this moment. I've got a sign for you. There you go, have that. Here's Harlesden. Hello, Alan.
Hello, good morning, Nick. Never spoken to you before, but I was listening to the guy talking about exams.
Yes.
And I got a little bit angry. I'm a teacher, and I'm also an examiner. And students that have to have someone to read or write the answers for them, they read the questions out, but they write the students' answers. They don't actually give the students the answers.
Right, well, I have a problem with that.
You have a problem with that?
Yes. Now, who are these students that have someone else write their answer for them?
Students that might be dyslexic or have any number of learning disabilities, autism.
Right, it's not just kids who can't be bothered to write.
No, of course not.
Well, you say of course not, but I think most of the audience were nodding their head in agreement with that bloke when he was saying that. It's just the sort of thing that we would believe now.
No, clearly not. I mean,
I was being flippant when I said can't be bothered to write, but I can't write very well, let's say. They just, their handwriting is rubbish, and so they have someone come in and do it for them.
No, the school wouldn't allow that, and the exam boards wouldn't allow that. Obviously, the exam boards have to protect their integrity, and the schools do as exam centres. But there are large numbers of students that have literacy problems. And
isn't it getting worse and worse? And the statistics exactly. The statistics suggest that the results are getting better and better, and students are brighter than they ever have been. But everyone's experience is completely the opposite. How do you figure that out?
Well, that students are getting well taught. I mean, there's evidence that there's good teaching going on.
Well, when you say there's evidence, you mean you could provide statistics? The government could provide its own statistics? Well, yeah, of course.
Well, I'm not phoning in support of the government, but if you look at the exam results, clearly there's evidence that students are achieving better.
Well, no, the exam results suggest that there's evidence that the exams are just getting easier.
What evidence?
Well, the evidence...
How can you assume because more students pass that the exams are easier?
Well, you could. There's all sorts of ways to come to that conclusion. Number one is that, well, you could. I could be flippant again and say that there was this TV program on a little while ago that took students from today, who are all going to be A-star students in their chosen subjects, and took them back to 50s or 70s or 60s or something of that order, and gave them exams from that period. And they all failed miserably, only to be told afterwards that these 17-year-olds had just taken an 11+.
Well, relevancy comes into that. I mean, students learn what's relevant to them, don't they? And perhaps what was relevant and thought important, 50 or 60 years ago is not so relevant and important to them today.
Well, that's the case in certain subjects, but maths hasn't changed much. I mean, adding and subtracting hasn't changed much in the last 30 years, to my knowledge.
No, you're quite right, no. Although the way that students learn perhaps has changed.
Well, now, I don't feel, strongly enough. I'm putting the case of a frowning lady through the glass there, and everybody else who's sitting at home who wants to shout at people like you. I'm not getting at you, Alan. You understand that? I'm not having a personal go at you.
I don't mind at all.
But this is the general public who and they're not having a go at you either. It's the system they're shouting about, and they would like to grab Tony or whoever from the government is spouting statistics and throttle them.
I mean, one of the problems with the government and with education is there's been so many new policies and initiatives introduced over the last 15, 20 years. There's not really been a chance for stability and for teachers and schools to actually, have some stability.
When I was going to school, all teachers wanted and aspired to be the head teacher, the head of the school. But these days, apparently, you can't double people's pay and get them to be the head of the school. They just won't do it. And there's this giant gap between the jobs that are available to head up schools and the people who are prepared to do it, principally because they're saying that there's just this blizzard of paperwork from the government, and they don't know what they're doing from one day to the next.
Absolutely. I mean, the expectations placed by the government and by the media on head teachers is quite ridiculous sometimes.
So what's the problem with, okay, I'll just make the question really vague so that you can interpret it in whatever way you like. What's the problem here, Alan?
With teachers or with students or with exam results?
With whatever first came to mind.
That's a difficult question, isn't it?
No, it's really easy. It's utterly vague, and so it would just be whatever first came to mind.
I think one of the main problems is the changes that the government keep making on the exam systems and on the teaching systems. What must be done, the national curriculum. Schools, they're in straitjackets. I mean, primary schools, for example, their timetable is almost dictated to them by government. They must have a literacy hour, they must have a numeracy hour. There's not much room for, creative education and for teachers to actually try what they feel is best for the students.
And are kids these days, as the statistics would imply, brighter than they used to be?
No, I don't think so.
Right. So my initial position, which you disagreed with, is correct. The exams are easier.
No, I wouldn't agree with that either.
But if the statistics imply that kids are brighter and are getting ever greater and more impressive results, and they're not actually brighter, then what other conclusion must we draw?
Well, you could consider the fact that the teaching might be better, and that students are better taught now than they were perhaps 20, 30 years ago.
All right, let me ask you this, Alan. Are the teachers better and teaching better than they were 20 or 30 years ago?
Some teachers, yes.
Is that a no?
That's a yes. Some teachers, in every profession, you're going to have bad apples, aren't you? And you're going to have, good, and you're going to have people that achieve and do their job properly.
Is the greatest problem facing teachers today the fact that they have the belt has been taken away from them, and kids know that they can't do anything at all, no matter what the kids do?
Well, again, a yes and a no. I mean, I think you're right. Teachers are limited in their powers to deal with problems. I'm not so sure that the belt would be my answer. But you're quite right. Teachers do need more powers. And schools need to be able to enforce rules and discipline.
Can I interest you in a paddle?
Not in the classroom, no.
You've said too much. Thanks a lot, Alan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Come on, we're running late!
Yeah, I haven't got to the papers yet. It's 12:20 already, because I think we've hit a stream of annoyance, and people are starting to fume at the mouth and grabbing the phone and punching out the digits. Hello, Pat.
Oh, hello there.
How are you?
I'll try not to punch.
All right.
This business of examination results, you never get what the percentages are. And I was told, and I read this by John Clare, who's a very good education expert, used to write for the Telegraph, very, very bluntly, that a GCSE C-level maths is 17%.
C?
A C-level maths.
Didn't C used to be 50%?
Well, I'm not sure. All I know is when I took my exams, that you could get distinction, pass, or credit. Credit was 60%, distinction was 70% plus, and a pass was 50%. But the one thing they will not tell you is how many marks children get. They say the reading level is correct for that particular age. They will not say what the reading level is. They don't give marks. So the reason is the exams might just be as hard, but the pass level mark is lower.
Right, well, yes, of course I don't...
That's how they do it.
I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to assume... my assumption is that the exams are easier and they're marked more leniently.
Well, they could be.
You know what, I think it's more of a fix than that. I don't think that a C pass is 17%. I think that they... ahead of time, figure out how many A stars and A's and B's and C's that they're going to award, and regardless of what kind of results they get, they're going to just give them anyway. I mean,
I think they do it for what the percentage is. Somebody, a pupil and by the way, I say pupil, not student. A student to me is somebody who goes to college or university. That's another way of, all these what I call weasel words. They definitely have a mark. They've obviously got to have a mark. Or how many correct answers does somebody have to have?
Yeah, but you see what I mean? If a school, if everyone in the school was fantastically stupid and they totally cocked up the exam and only got 2 answers right, then one answer right would be an A and 2 answers right would be an A star.
Yes. But they will never give you the figures. And if you see some of the up-to-date children's, which I've seen, the primary school reports, there are about 5 pages of wordings, and it says, yes, your child has reached such and such a level for reading, or for mathematics, or for spelling, or for writing, but it doesn't tell you what it is. If I'd got a child my children are grown up now, but if I'd got a child at school, I want to know what they could read. Can they read the Telegraph or can they read the Beano? They never ever tell you, and I think it's very, very hard on parents these days. And it's such a shame.
Well, yeah.
You need somebody to really ring in. I wish somebody could sort of call in who could actually say, how many marks do you have to get an A star? Well,
that's what that's the point that I was trying to make. It's not fixed. It's dependent on the amount of people who pass
And you have to remember that the schools, the more pupils they have at the schools in the 6th form, we're not allowed to say 6th form now, are you? They say something else. That they get paid for how many pupils are there. They don't want their children to fail.
Well, because it reflects badly on them.
Oh, well, they get more money for it, the more pupils they have.
Hey, Pat, you know what? We should go into the education business. We're wasted doing this.
24 hours. I'm not a teacher. I have done teaching.
I don't think you need to be. No qualifications required.
Well, and then the other thing is you have to look at what grade A levels do pupils have to get to go to a college to learn how to teach. That is horrifying if you knew about it.
Well, that's
and that's such a shame as well. So few people want.
You seem really upset about this, Pat. Like you seem.
Well, I'm upset.
Not angry, mind, but just kind of down and blue.
Well, I'm upset about
melancholy.
I'm upset about it because I was lucky in that. Well, I had a child who just sailed through school, and I had another one who's now running a thriving business on the continent, who didn't pass any exams at all. But because we backed both of them, and we knew. We knew that what was happening at schools, but so many parents are
stupid, fat, lazy. Were you going to say that?
Pardon?
Never mind. Yeah, right. Whatever it is, I agree.
But I feel sorry for parents these days.
Do you?
Who aren't told the truth.
All right.
About their children.
Righto. Okay. Well, listen. Thanks, Pat. Cheer up, dear.
No, I'm fine. Thank
you. It's not going to happen to you. It's you're done with all that now. Does everybody want to talk about school now? God, this is like a topic. I don't do topics. Huh?
You started it, didn't you?
Well, no, I start all sorts of things. All sorts of things I start to talk about, and people just let it go by. I mean, I've talked about everything from North Korea to where apples come from. Have I talked about that yet?
I beg your pardon?
Where apples come from?
Orchards.
Well, it's just what they think. Sorry.
Right, let's have Cockfosters. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, good morning, Nick.
Jeff.
Long time no speak.
Oh, no, haven't I been lucky?
It's about 7 years. I'm a newbie to LBC phone-in.
7 years?
Yeah. One of the other places.
Oh, right.
I wanted to... Oh, I was going to say, when I did my O-level maths, I was above a C level. Well, Romford.
Is that right?
Sorry.
That was like a joke, right? like a joke, yeah. A facsimile of a joke.
I was going to say, I've got a virtual existence, an alter ego. I've just signed up with Second Life. It's a website where you have an avatar.
What's an avatar? What's that then?
Like a cartoon version of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And you can buy land and actually sell land in real money.
Oh, is this thing that the whole world is joining in all at the same time?
Well, 919,121 people.
To be precise. This is this thing where you can go and buy an island and you can be like a, if you're a banker in real life, you can turn yourself into like a hippie. Groovy. Or something like that, and go out and buy land, and people are actually spending actual money on buying land that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's right. I think there's a band that played a live gig as cartoon characters.
Go on.
Well, I don't know too much because it's taken me 3 days to work out how to log on. I've got to the logging on stage. I can't even log on to nickabbotforums.com. It's like military standards of security to get into that site.
Onto nickabbotforums.com?
I believe so.
What?
I don't know. One of your many fans, Flute Boy or someone, has set up a...
Oh, Flute Boy. Oh, well, you should have said. Who's that, then?
I don't know. He looks like a bald version of Ian Lee.
Right.
Some broadcaster on LBC.
Yeah, he's very good.
Fantastic. Lovely man.
Because when I'm driving home from my parents, often you put music on, and if you're driving on the motorway, you often just feel like... Well, you don't feel like it, but it happens to you. You just drift off, right? What? Look at the time. You called it a bad time. We've got to go away for the new news. But thanks, Jeff.
Speak to you again after these years.
Right, so what are we doing?
Right, let's do the papers now. The show's going to be over and I won't have any time to do them. First, the Observer. Kelly blocks new rights for gays in church row. Doesn't that sound like... That sounds like a tabloid headline. New shock row. The Cabinet is in open warfare over new gay rights legislation after Tony Blair and Ruth Kelly, who is a devout Catholic, block plans, blah, blah, blah. I just think this whole thing is laugh-out-loud funny. I mean, this is what they're worried about. No one's going to church anymore. They're selling off churches to developers to put flats in. The pews are totally empty. Every choir boy that's ever been through is suing them, and they're running around rearranging as though they're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, asking everyone if they've got any Judy Garland in their record collections.
Are you very sure you're not homosexual?
You're wasting your time. The Sunday Times, which I do think looks spare. Do you like the new Sunday Times? It looks spare and...
It looks empty.
Yeah, exactly.
It does.
But do you like that?
It's minimalist, like IKEA.
Precisely. It's
too much working white.
Too much what?
Too much working white.
Working white?
Working white is the white with no writing in, is what they call it in the newspaper industry.
Is it?
It's called working white.
Why do they call it that?
I don't know. Something Ferrari told me.
That's Nick Ferrari to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks very modern. You know what? As soon as I saw it, I thought that's what it looks like, a web page.
Well, that's the way forward.
Must be, yeah. Every other paper looks like... this, for instance, is the front page of the Mail. I know they're not direct competitors, but it looks like a mess, doesn't it, in comparison with the Mail. And every other paper looks like a total... like it's an assault on the eyeballs.
In comparison, the Sunday Times actually looks very... It's pleasing on the eye. It's
It
quite
is.
gentle.
It's calming, yeah. Like
the calmest of calm.
Yeah. How's that song go? Maybe on a Sunday morning.
Easy, like, yeah.
Easy on your eyes,
Easy
like on a Sunday morning. Yeah, in fact, that's a £1 million advertising idea. We'll sell it to him, and by this time next week, we'll be in the Seychelles, you and me. Back home, Madonna without a child. The African family of Madonna's newly adopted child has demanded an invitation to her multi-million-pound mansion to check on his welfare and living conditions.
What?
Yeah, good luck with that. She didn't think this through, did she? Why is she doing this for? For what reason is she... I don't get it. I mean, she's got 2 kids already. She's got a husband, and as soon as she finds out that he don't talk like that and he ain't actually a gangster, then she's going to be furious.
Could be the designer baby.
Well, it's not a designer baby.
Well, they're saying it's a
It's a
token
presser
edition.
baby. She got it off the rack.
Could be the publicity.
Oh, this woman does not need publicity. She just finished the most successful tour that any woman has ever embarked upon. She's just put 130 million quid in the bank like she needed it, and everyone knows her name.
Yeah, and what does she do next?
So the whole village coming over to stay, have they?
Yeah, she's going to look forward to that, yeah. Her people will roll out the red carpet. Sure they will. Profera Banda, the baby's uncle, expressed concern that the singer was, quote, taking advantage of his family. Oh, no, it's all unravelling. His criticism came after Madonna was granted a controversial adoption order for David, a 13-month-old boy from a Malawi orphanage, on Thursday. Well, hang on a minute. How come the parents have actually... If the baby's in an orphanage, why are the parents... I don't get it. Do you get it?
The mother died. The father's still alive.
Right. We want to find out the benefit of the adoption to this family. We've seen other parents who've had their children adopted still living in poverty. They have not seen their children. All they see is pictures. We don't want that to happen to this family. Huh. Okay. Well, that one's going to run and run, isn't it? That's going to get nasty. Can you even wait? The Mail must be upset about something. They always are. Great speed cam scam. Undercover probe reveals shocking truth. Buckets of money are made from motorists. Like we didn't know that already. Britain's booming speed camera network is at the centre of a giant scam aimed at making buckets of money for the government. The boss of a leading supplier of the devices has admitted. The sensational confession was made by the chief executive of Teletraffic, which supplies cameras to virtually every police force in Britain. His unguarded comments made to Anne, see page 6, very excited, made to an undercover reporter, one of those, posing as a prospective buyer of speed cameras, will add new weight to the public's perception that the gadgets are designed more for making money than improving road safety. Well, we know they are. I mean, is anyone in any doubt? What else? Chelsea's present for Harry. She's moving to Britain.
That'll make him happy.
Well, where is she now?
South Africa, Cape Town.
Oh, right. You're obviously keeping up with the royals. Are you a fan? No.
No.
Sunday Express. Liz plans... Guess what? She's going to get married again. Guess how many times this is going to be. Correct. 9. That's insane, isn't it? I don't mean to say that she's insane. I just mean it's a crazy mixed-up number. 9 marriages? If at first you don't succeed, try again. Elizabeth Taylor is planning to marry for a 9th time at the age of 74. The double Oscar winner is in love again almost exactly 10 years since her bitter divorce from truck driver Larry Fortensky. There's a marriage made in heaven. Hollywood star and truck driver. Who could have imagined that would not work out?
I bet he's regretting it as well.
Liz, who is twice married to actor Richard Burton, has revealed that her constant escort, portrait artist Firuz Zahidi, could become husband number 8 within the year. Don't do it, dear. Zahidi, who is 17 years younger, at only 157, has known Liz for years and recently helped to nurse her through and so on and so forth. She married Conrad Hilton Jr., Michael Wilding, Michael Todd, Eddie Fisher, Richard Burton, and then Richard Burton again. I mean, what is that? She married Richard Burton in 1964 and it lasted almost 10 years. And they divorced in 1973. And then got married again 2 years later. I mean, that's just off the scale nuts, isn't it? But she's probably worth £1 trillion. She's got all the money that Google don't have. I would imagine that all of the people, apart from the truck driver, or maybe the truck driver's got half of everything that she earned, and she's just, keeping... Well, some people make a living out of it. Not that I'm saying that that's what she's doing. The Star. 50... You know what? All of these papers are giving away free stuff, and most of it, as I keep saying, is stuff that you don't need, or want, or would ever use. Like the Guardian's giving away the Buena Vista Social Club, which is a movie that came out, and everybody says, "Oh, you're looking at me confused."
No, I've
The
heard of the Joy Luck
Vista
Club.
The what?
The Joy Luck Club.
What's that then?
Just a film with a club at the
Oh,
end.
it sounds like a women's thing,
well,
is it?
Women's girlies film.
Yeah. No explosions in that one, I bet.
If we're naming films with I've heard of Fight Club.
Fight Club, yeah, that's more
girly
like
thing.
it. See, Joy is a woman's name, isn't it? And it's probably not relevant to that movie, but as soon as you see a woman's name in a movie title, men's, like, alarm bell starts ringing in men's minds and we flee the scene. Joy Luck Club.
Like Emmanuel.
It sounds like a total chick flick. Yes. That's the exception that proves the rule. Yes, but the Star, as opposed to all of the other papers who are giving away tat that no one wants, like the Buena Vista Social Club is a perfect example in point. It was a movie that came out and everyone said, "Oh, you must go and see this, it's great." And then you went and saw it and you thought, "Oh, blimey, this is so dull," you thought. You're not supposed to say that because it's, it's foreign music. Everyone's supposed to like it. Otherwise, you're stupid, right?
Donut.
Yes, that's right. You're a donut. But, no, and you did sit through about 15, 20 minutes of it, and you thought, is it like this all the way through? Some old geezers on stage doing this music. What is it?
Who's in it?
Oh,
never heard of
I don't know. It's a lot of Cuban musicians, right?
Oh. So the Daily Star are giving this away?
No, the Observer are giving that away. They're giving it away to people who've either already seen it or have decided that they don't want to see it.
Yes.
So in other words, it's useless, utterly pointless. Whereas the Star, a little while ago, was giving away actual money.
Was it?
Yes.
What, a £5?
Yes. They were giving away a £5 to spend on a website, which was something like... I want one of those, or I don't need one of those, or fancythat.com, something like that. But it was actual money. How can you beat that? Today they're giving away 50 free tunes for your iPod, without mentioning any brand names. Your MP3 player.
That's very, that's good. That's worth having.
Yeah.
Oh, I might buy the Daily Star.
No, you won't.
Is that an order already?
No, it's just it's an assumption on my part. No, you won't. I mean, because who does? Who buys the Daily Star? Hands up in there who buys the Daily Star?
Nil
No
point.
one.
Look it from here.
Pain in the Ash on the front page of the Daily Star. It's another X Factor story, and they just keep coming and whoever the publicity machine is behind the X Factor is the best in the business, because there's no other TV show that gets as much publicity in the tabloids as the X Factor. I don't know what company it is, it's Freud's or whoever they're using, they are geniuses, because it just comes off the fax machine. Do they still use fax machines? They probably just email it directly to them. And you don't need to set it in print anymore, in type. It doesn't need to go to the hot press room or whatever they call it. They just press another button and it immediately gets printed. They probably don't even spell check it, do they?
Cut and paste.
Exactly. That's the journalist's tool. The journalist's tool used to be a wad of fivers and a bottle of scotch, right? Loosen them up and then pay them, and they'll come up with anything you want. These days, it's the right click on your mouse. Copy, paste. That's all they do. No checking involved.
Did you watch the X Factor?
Yes. Well, you know what? When it first starts, you think it would be amusing, because there's a lot of people who are obviously deficient mentally who are trying to get on this show, and they're paraded before us for our amusement, which I find both funny and troubling at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm torn, but amused. You know, you can't help yourself, can you? It's like standing at the bus stop every now and again. A nutter comes by.
You've just got to watch them.
Yes, that's right. Fortunately, as they're on TV, they can't stab you. They will direct their ire towards Simon Cowell, who probably has to surround himself with security people wherever he goes. That's the penalty for being famous.
Yes.
And earning 50 million quid a year, or whatever it is. Yeah. But whoever is doing the publicity for the X Factor is a genius, because all of these stories that come out, shocking news about the X Factor, there's cheating this and bonking the other, and it's supposed to be, and they're writing it like it's awful news for this programme. It's not. They're rubbing their hands with glee. The paper's just swallowing this tripe. All they have to do is tell them, and they'll print it, often on the front page. So the Star on Sunday, almost the entire front page is Pain in the Ash. I've got no idea what the story is, so let's read on. X Factor finalist Ashley Mackenzie has sparked a war between contestants over wild antics in the house where they're all staying. Ashley, 20, and his partner in crime, Raymond Quinn, 18, have led a series of noisy party nights which have upset the older wannabes. So in other words, two teenagers are having a party. Front page of the Daily Star. News. Oh, my God. The Sunday Telegraph, which compared with the Sunday Times looks dreadfully old-fashioned. The greater your weight, the lower your IQ, say scientists.
That'll go down well in Hull.
In Hull, yeah, exactly. Like they don't have enough bad news as it is. It's bad for your blood pressure, knocks years off your life, and is a strain on the heart. Now, scientists have discovered that gaining weight lowers your intelligence. The findings follow last week's government figures that show Britain as the fat man of Europe, with nearly a quarter of adults and more than 14% of children under 16 classified as obese. That is amazing, isn't it? Because we think America as, you think fat. In this country, we adopt a sniffy, superior attitude, and we think, oh, yeah, that's Americans, that is. No, it's not, it's us.
No, it's here.
Right here, that's right. And the thing that I've been banging on about on this show for a good long while now, we won't see much of it. Well, actually, we will. I was going to say people will start covering up now it's coming into winter, but they don't. The very people that I'm about to talk about don't. They won't. They'll refuse to do it. And it's, and until the fashion changes, you almost need to wear mirrored sunglasses with the mirrors on the inside, just to protect your eyeballs from the sight of girls staggering around the high street in jeans that are low cut and tops that are cropped. Meaning that in the middle, there's this explosion of white fat, which bursts between the two.
You make it sound really pretty.
It's awful.
And why is it the girls that shouldn't dress like that do
always
dress like
do, yeah. It's like fat blokes always take their shirt off. Have you ever seen anyone, like, wandering up and down the high street with his shirt off that's not gigantically fat?
I wish I had have done. Wouldn't have been so offensive.
I never have.
What wouldn't have been so offensive?
Well, if somebody, with a six-pack...
Are you a chubby chaser?
No, I'm saying if somebody with a nice six-pack, a nice guy, would have walked along, that would have been nice, but you never see it, do you?
Six-pack? What is it about? That's the most useless...
It's nice, don't you think?
It's the most useless muscle group on a man. What's he going to do with that? Move furniture?
attract a mate.
A mate?
I suppose.
Well, not pigeons. A mate? Where's the romance? The romance has gone, hasn't it? But think about it. What are you actually going to do with a with great big muscly arms? Yes, you could hoik heavy things around. With great big muscly legs, you could run up and down a football pitch all day. What are you going to do with a six-pack?
Show it off.
Well, that's just... that's a sign of the times, right there. Isn't that just...
Well, look at Charles Atlas. That was all rippling six-packs. It's part of the package of...
No, I don't think that muscle types used to be like that. They just used to be larger and slightly fat.
I don't know.
Charles Atlas, he just used to be... just bigger and slightly fat. These days, you've got to have the skin sucked on you like you've been vacuum packed.
Actually, yes, because when they were like Arnold Schwarzenegger, they just had like man boobs almost, don't they? You know what I mean? And now it goes down.
I think they're called moobs.
That's it.
There must be something useful you can do with good stomach muscles.
They look good under a t-shirt, I suppose, but you're right, it's aesthetic.
No, you said that.
Yes, I'm saying you are right about that point. I've reconsidered my position.
What, you're congratulating yourself on being correct?
No, you're correct, but it is it's aesthetic, it's not useful.
No, it doesn't appear to have any use at all. I mean, your back muscles hold you up, so what do your stomach muscles actually do, apart from stop your intestines from exploding all over your feet?
I don't suppose I've ever considered stomach muscles that deeply before.
Well, you want to think about it, dear.
I do.
The greater your weight, the lower your IQ, say scientists, and everyone in Hull went...
yeah?
The news of the world, Red Rom's marriage on rocks. And I read this with hesitation because in about 6 weeks' time, after Red Rom sues them into a black hole in space, they're going to be saying sorry about that, but they won't be printing it in microscopic print on page... he'll have sued them so badly that they'll be printing it right on the front page. In extra, and inside it'll be an extra double colour pull-out spread saying sorry in 86 different languages. We can't say sorry enough, they'll be saying. Sorry, 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 sorry.
I am very sorry that I screwed up. Totally I mean, I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, mate. I'm sorry. Soccer billionaire Roman Abramovich was last night looking at the biggest divorce payout in history as his marriage hit the rocks. The News of the World can reveal that the Chelsea tycoon's wife, Irina, has called in top lawyers following his close friendship with Russian beauty Daria Sukova.
Well done.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if you got it right or wrong.
Last week, Abramovich, 40, failed to get a High Court injunction to stop us exposing the relationship. Huh. Blimey, you think with that kind of money you could just do whatever you want. Well, he's not in Russia now.
I wonder if they signed prenups.
Well, what difference could it make, really, to Red Rom? Say he lost half of his money. What's he worth, like 11 billion? Say he lost 5. So let's be generous. Say he gave us 6 billion. He'd still have 5 billion left. How could anybody in in possession of their faculties spend £5 billion over the course of one lifetime? You couldn't. Not even if you were that yob Michael Carroll could you get through £5 billion worth of cocaine.
But then Macca's arguing, isn't he? Macca's got a lot, and he doesn't want to give her...
Oh, he hasn't got that much?
No, not that much.
But see, if you made... if you're worth 11 billion and your wife wants half, then that's, well, disappointing. But it's not a disaster, is it? Because you still have got so much money that it's obscene. But if you only make 20 grand a year and your wife wants half,
well,
of
course, that's
a disaster.
Yes.
So people who make prenups are the wrong people. See, prenup people are your Paul McCartney, who's not, hasn't been thumbing up lately, gurning at the camera and giving us the thumbs up.
No.
Not too much lately, no. So people like that do prenups, but your actual ordinary Joe in the street, they don't. But those are the people that need to.
Yes, that's a fair point. But they won't, because it costs too much money to set one up in the first place.
No, can't do. I promise not to take you to the cleaners.
You think that would stand up in court? Maybe that's what stomach muscles are for.
What, standing up in court?
You never know.
The £5.5 billion divorce, it says on the inside. Roman's the man with everything, but now his wife could take half. This is the guy with 3 yachts, right? One of which costs £72 million. See, that's what I mean, is if you've got that much money, you just run out of idea. I mean, OK, I'll have another yacht. What are you going to do with it? You've only got 2 pairs of feet. You can only stand on the one deck.
You just waste it.
How do you split 3 yachts between 2 people? 1.5 each?
Well, clearly it's going to sink.
Well, he didn't think of that, did he? The peephole. Dance Tarby's heart terror. Telly-funny man Jimmy Tarbuck is hit by a terrifying heart scare. Oh, I know what that's like. The health drama forced the 66-year-old to scrap plans to appear on BBC One's Strictly Come Dancing last night. Will they just stop making this tripe? Please.
I love it.
Oh, come on.
Why don't you like it?
What's to like?
It's dancing.
Yeah, but previously, ballroom dancing was only watched by 186-year-old biddies with rugs over their knees in homes, mostly because they didn't have the energy to get out of their chair to turn it over. When they axed Come Dancing, I think it becomes sort of underground cult with students. I seriously doubt that.
Oh, it was getting a big following. It was becoming ironic, I think, and they've cashed in on it. They're getting very good figures, you know.
Yeah, but they're not getting ironic figures. They're getting gigantic figures on a Saturday night.
There's 200 biddies in with blankets on.
Well, what is it you like about it? Because I'm really confused about this. So describe it. I'll try and sum up what I think it is. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Go on.
Celebrities dancing. Is that it?
With professionals. A celebrity and a professional.
Right. Well, your correction doesn't make it actually sound much better, but...
Well, do you like dancing in general? Not doing it, but watching it, you see?
Watching it, no. See, now, there's a sport that,
Sport?
Well, isn't it a sport?
Entertainment?
Isn't it an Olympic sport?
No.
I'm sure it actually is.
Ice.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, what's the difference? It's just...
Because that's skill involved, isn't it?
Well, come off it.
Skill on ice.
There's more chance of falling over on ice.
Oh, that's true.
Makes it eminently more watchable.
Well, I don't know. If you're 66 years old and you have a heart attack, you'll be falling over. Just ask Tarby.
I'd pay for that.
The health drama forced the 66-year-old to scrap plans to appear on BBC One's Strictly Come Dancing last night, and TV insiders say the father of 4 may have been training too hard for the hit show. See, it is an Olympic sport.
Only for the fit.
One said this came out of the blue. It's very worrying. Okay. Are you worried? Are you in any way concerned? Did he have a chance? Maybe that was it. Because he was in the bottom 2 the week before. Maybe he just didn't come up to scratch this week. Inside, Madonna was last night accused of snubbing relatives of the African orphan she wants to adopt. I find that hard to believe. I'm sure it would be open house over at Madonna's place to, anyone who bears a passing resemblance to her relatives. Is it a her or a him? Which has she chosen?
Little boy.
Oh, right. Did they send round a selection?
Good question.
Little David Bander's uncle said the singer had not even visited the village where the 1-year-old comes from. And he said that AIDS had rejected his pleas to talk to the pop queen about the toddler's future. It's all going wrong, Madge. And in the Sunday Mirror, finally, what are they giving away? Oh, kids go free at Legoland. You ever take your kid to Legoland?
I might start doing that.
There you go. Sunday Mirror. It's a free. TV Kerry's fling with married pop boss. It's another X Factor exclusive. Can you stand it? Did you smoke during your pregnancy in order to make the birth easier?
Funnily enough, I didn't, no.
No, incredible, isn't it?
If only I'd have known that.
I know, yeah. The things that you find out when it's too late. Isn't that amazing that people are actually doing that?
Any excuse.
I mean, it just, it just staggers the imagination that people... Maybe they all came from Hull.
Ooh. Ooh.
Well, that's not controversial to say. I mean, they've already been called fat and stupid. I mean, how far further can you go? I mean, they must be upset already, right? Pregnant teenagers smoke to try and reduce the size of their bye-byes and make delivery less painful, a government minister has claimed. I mean, I become speechless. You just start to, words form in the back of your mind, and then nothing comes out. I mean, what can you say?
Donut.
Donuts.
Donuts, that's right. They want to be eating more donuts. No, that'll make them heavier. When was the last time you had a donut?
Don't really like them.
Well, I didn't think I did. And then people were going on and on and on and on and on about this American donut company that recently started selling over here.
Krispy Kreme.
In the Top People's store. And so I thought, oh, well, they must be special, because people keep banging on about these donuts. So I went and bought a box, and it was just like a doughy, fat thing.
Was that just before your nearly heart attack, by any chance? Because I tell you, they will help.
Well, I was eating, donuts with cream and syrup on. Did that have anything to do with it? Well, I'm not serious. Don't have to look at me like that. I'm not serious. Yeah, I was deeply disappointed, because first of all, they weren't crispy. They were just doughy creams, and they didn't have any cream in. So they just, in actual fact, they should have just been called doughies. Then it would have been exactly what it said on the box, and you'd have known what you were getting.
People won't buy them.
And I wouldn't have gone in there in the first place. Yeah, you're right. Anthony Davis is next on LBC.